And we're live.
And we're live, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. Yes, back with another episode of the Lonely Marks. Without Richie this week, Richie is on holiday, but I'm sure he's watching. He would never miss an episode. So, Richie,
Never.
I hope you're enjoying your holiday. I'm pretty sure it was his birthday recently too. So happy
birthday,
birthday!
Richie.
Yes,
He's I believe he's 56 now.
Ah,
Whoa! Yes. Happy birthday, Richie. I hope you're having fun on your holiday. But I am not alone, despite what the title says about me. I'm pretty sure I'm like the only lonely one now. Richie's got his housekeeper. GPO's got his cat. Austin's in a committed relationship.
I also get Richie's housekeeper.
We're just rotating the girlfriend thing, so I hope mine lasts. Because Jacob's probably like crossed his fingers. He's like, well, as soon as he's done with his, it'll rotate to me.
If this was MySpace, technically I would label myself as it's complicated.
It's complicated, yeah. I think that's what you told me. No details. You just think it's complicated. Yeah,
I always thought
it
that
kind of
was
is.
bullshit. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I get it now because women be complicated. I hope she's not watching.
No comments yet, so we'll see.
Oh, it's actually her birthday today too. So happy birthday!
Oh.
And you're here. Okay, no, I'm not gonna start.
And I'm not with her. I wonder who is. All right, move on.
Let's move on because we have a fun show planned for you. We got some news to talk about, some AEW predictions to talk about, and then JPO has made a list of 100 movies featuring various wrestlers that we will then rank some of them in a tier chart. So we've got a full episode planned.
It's a full one tonight, folks.
Oh yeah,
it could be. It's fine. It's fine with me because I've got a 4-day weekend coming up. I'm free. I've got time.
I got to work in the morning, so let's not do like a 3-hour tier ranker. That'd be nice, but maybe like an hour tier ranker. We can keep our thoughts to like 20 seconds a pop. Just breeze through.
There's just 3 of us. There's not 6 of us. So
yeah, it's not 6. Okay. We can just bounce.
Boom, boom. We should be able to get a good amount of stuff on the list.
That's what I mean. Yeah, let's get the list going. Yeah.
And there's various people not on the panel that like to.
At least it won't be a tie. Like 3 people is like there's still no ties. So if you have like boom boom and
good point. Yeah.
So it's not bad. Instead of 2 A's, 2 B's.
We're all good with A, a C, and an F. We're all good with
Hey, well, if that's the case, it's a C. See, it averages out like that.
Man.
Yeah, man.
That's how grades work.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's jump into it. Austin, how are you doing?
No, I'm good, man. Good to be here. Mixed bag at the movies tonight. One good, one not so good. We'll talk about that off air if you guys want to know.
I feel like I can predict what it is.
Which one? Well, let's just say it was the 2 new releases today. One was pretty good, like not the greatest, but pretty good, and one completely unnecessary and soulless and lifeless, and you don't need to see it. So, you can probably predict which one that one is. But yeah, other than that, let's talk some wrestling, man. I'm ready. We got a lot on our plate tonight, but it should be fun.
And speaking of a lot on his plate, that was a weird segue. No, it was a lot of chicken tenders.
You know what? I would get mad at you if I didn't not have chicken tenders for dinner tonight.
Hey, he's just taking after his hero, Dominic Mysterio, who also loves chicken fingers.
Okay, hold on. See, I'm mad. This happened to me the other night too. He stole my fucking gimmick, all right?
All right.
Not the other way around. We get that shit straight tonight.
he walks into he just walks into Triple H's office. All right. So there's this guy in Florida, right?
Yeah, he does this like trivia show and he does real pro wrestling and like he loves chicken tenders.
Dominic's next gimmick is he loves tenders and does then we know for sure.
Yeah. And he does and he quizzes all of his friends about how well they know him as a friend. And then it's like
every year for his birthday.
That's right.
Coming to the ring, the Lonely Mark, Dominic. Hold on.
Wait. All right. All right. We got to pull our money to get this lawyer going. What the hell's going on here?
You just see on WWE's YouTube channel, Dominic Mysterio quizzes his friends.
Yeah. Quizzes the Judgment Day about how well they know him.
Cornette. We'll get Stephen P. New.
Yeah, Stephen Pinu.
JPO, how are you doing today?
Just dandy. Another fun week of wrestling here. Big AEW show coming up. We're already all in time. Kind of their mania, I would say. So, be exciting. Plus, it's an early one, which I totally forgot till you mentioned it in our private chat. So
I started looking that up. I was like, what time does it start again? I was like, oh, it's night for them. Oh, 1 p.m. Eastern. I was like, oh, so I'll be done watching it by like 5 o'clock ish. Like, and I can go to bed normal that night. That's kind of cool.
It screws up the pizza plan though that we usually do.
Not really. I'm gonna eat pizza still for lunch, just not dinner. Yeah.
I'm not a lunch pizza guy.
I don't mind. It's to me, it's more like a tradition. I just kind of have to. So I just do. Like, what else?
I'm an anytime pizza guy, so
yeah. I mean, you can have pizza for lunch.
Dinner thing. I could do lunch, yeah.
No, I mean, I could do breakfast pizza. I do breakfast. Cold pizza on the way.
That's the drunken early 20s days where you're like, what's available? Oh, the pizza we had last night. That's what.
Or it's 5 a.m. and I gotta go to work and I need something to munch on while I'm driving. So like, I get the two cold pieces of pizza.
If you haven't gone to bed yet, 5 can still count as the 2.
Yeah.
It's still dinner at 5 a.m. if you haven't slept yet. But yeah, let's jump into it. Yeah, we just got a couple pieces of news. We'll start off with the unfortunate passing of one half of the Wild Samoans passing away recently. I unfortunately I know that the Anoa'i family is pretty big in wrestling, so I know that there is some history. He does have a big he's big in wrestling history. Unfortunately, I just didn't see much of his matches. I don't know much about his wrestling style, so unfortunately I can't speak on that. I just do know that the Samoan dynasty is pretty influential in pro wrestling. So yeah.
Well, we just lost his other half, Sika, just a few weeks ago.
Right.
Like literally just talked about Sika. So it's kind of weirdly poetic that we now have lost both of them within just a couple of weeks. Yeah, that's kind of one of those weird things. It's like those stories when you hear about like old married couples, like one passes away and then like 3 weeks later the other one just passes away of like natural causes. One of those weird things. Yeah, it's just it's very strange like that.
Yeah, and real quick shout out to his family too, because they probably found out, then they still went out and they performed. So shout out to them as well. It couldn't have been easy. But Pez, you have any thoughts on and memories of the Wild Samoan Alpha?
No, it's really kind of similar to what we talked about with Sika, because I had just seen some stuff when I kind of followed the Brian and Vinny show when they were doing some like those old Saturday Night's main events and things like that. They were kind of all over those shows in the late 80s. We just saw Alpha actually on one of our retro reviews here, the SummerSlam 93. If you remember, he came out with the Head Shrinkers. Him and Captain Lou accompanied the Head Shrinkers, and then Alpha was the one who interfered to cause the DQ in that match, attacking the other team. So we actually saw Alpha pseudo in action not long ago on this show doing our retros. But yeah, I mean the real story here is they are obviously kind of the starters of that bloodline dynasty, if you will, that Samoan dynasty. And we just talked about how at least both Alpha and Sika got to see this bloodline thing like come back into like in a big way, like into fruition, to be like the kind of storyline of the last like 4 or 5 years. Even so, he accompanied or came out with on the stage with Roman Reigns, the one time at the end of the pay-per-view. So at least those two, both of them got to see the bloodline kind of still going strong, obviously, and not only going strong, but being kind of like the biggest thing in wrestling right now. And even this new incarnation with the Civil War and stuff. So that must have at least been cool for both of them to see, before they pass away, that this dynasty is still strong, and the fans are behind it and enjoying it. So full credit to them, obviously, for being kind of the backbone of that, and where kind of it all started.
Yeah, JPO, you got anything you want to say about Alpha?
No, for sure, man. Big love and respect to Alpha. Affectionately known as Pops in the wrestling business here. I didn't get really much chance to work much with him here, but I have so many friends that did. When they show like the roster groups and like on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, like I could literally name left to right like half of those people. They've gone on to do other great things. He himself, Stampede tag titles, WWC tag titles, 3-time WWF Tag Team Champion, along with the aforementioned Sika here. Gave back to the wrestling community these last couple decades. Had a hand in training Batista here. Still was training people up to the very last second, giving back, helping the next generations. Another one of those people that legitimately I've never heard a bad thing said about. I even got to know his daughter. His daughter would come to a lot of the shows because I would book his son-in-law a lot, and they're really good people here. So shout out to Vale, Julio, everyone that's been affected by this here. I know it's been a tough time, especially because it's not too long after Sika. So a man that kind of like a Dusty Rhodes in a way, like touched a lot of people in a long amount of time. So shout out to him. Long lasting legacy both in and outside the ring.
For sure. So yes. Rest in peace.
Big Alpha. Yeah, for sure. All right.
Another piece of news that broke earlier today. Ricochet has reportedly signed a multi-year deal with AEW, and I, for one, I'm not surprised. I mean, it's either AEW or TNA. There's other smaller promotions too. I mean,
the fact that he left WWE technically, he's not leaving WWE just to do the indies. He left probably with AEW in the back pocket, or New Japan is another place that he could.
Yeah. So, I for one, I'm excited at the possibilities of the matches that we could get. The first name that came to mind. Hopefully, hopefully he's still a wrestler, or an employed wrestler by the time Ricochet debuts. But Bryan Danielson was one of the first names that popped into my mind. I would love to see those two go at it in the ring together.
And we'll touch upon it later, though. But obviously, a good guess is, will he be a part of that Casino Gauntlet that we're going to get? And the winner of that's supposed to get a title shot. So, if he wins that too, that could very well set him up before Danielson or Swerve.
I didn't even think of that until you just mentioned it. That's a good shout.
Especially since now the actual contract is signed, like he is officially all elite, basically.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
if he is in it, if he is, am I still here?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, the page went down. I'm gonna tell if I'm still here. If he isn't, I wish they hadn't announced that. Kill a little bit of the come through the current.
Yeah,
but that's if it happens.
Yeah. Or he just shows up and he's just in the crowd watching the show. Like, come on, you get him in the ring. Come on. But yeah, it's JBO. What are your thoughts on Ricochet signing with AEW?
Yeah, a bit of a surprise when he left WWE because, especially since Triple H took over, it felt like he was doing a little bit more. But has never really risen past that kind of mid-card status here. So lots of cool new potential opponents for him. The name that comes to my mind is a guy that he's had previous bangers, if you will, Will Ospreay. Those two really lit the world on fire in their matches over in Rev Pro and whatnot. The match that Vader hated so much was another kind of fun controversy there.
Yeah, that gymnastics bullshit. Yeah.
And you don't even need it. It's the kind of match that you don't really need to turn anyone heel. They could just straight up have it as faces if you want, because it really is just about outdoing one another to a large degree. So we can definitely see that. He's a talented guy. Can also have more harder hitting matches too if he has to. So I look forward to it. I've been a big fan of good old Trevor, aka Ricochet, for a while now. So yeah, sat next to him one time watching an Evolve show with him. Yeah,
nice. Will that be a question on next year's quiz that I'll try to get out of?
That's a good chance. Yeah, sure. Why not? I'm running out of things to talk about. So at some point we're like, what was the last thing I saw on TV last night? Go. I'm running out of questions.
The infomercial before you fell asleep. Pez, your thoughts on Ricochet?
I'm trying to get through Tarot right now. Jesus, it's taking me 3 tries. That movie's boring the shit out of me somewhere.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Tarot?
Oh, Tarot. I thought you said Terror for some reason.
No, Tarot.
I was Tarot. Yeah, Tarot is a very boring movie. Yeah, Tarot's not a good movie.
Yeah.
So I don't blame you. I was bored in the theater. Yeah, hence why it's on my worst of the year list.
I'm actually kind of mad because I upgraded Netflix just to watch it because it's not on one set of tier. It's like, no, you need the next tier to watch this, and I'm now regretting my decision.
Paz, your thoughts on Ricochet signing with AEW.
No, I mean, I think we kind of expected that. Like his style definitely works towards that AEW style. Hopefully, he doesn't get lost in the shuffle as he kind of did in WWE. It's unfortunate because it seemed like he was, JPO thought it seemed like he was almost getting a push. He was kind of going to be the face of that speed, thing, on Twitter.
Never take away. He was the first ever speed
champion. That will be a trivia, I'm sure, at some point. But
Absolutely.
but it seemed like he was also doing that and getting a few wins, on Raw and whatnot. So like it seemed like he was starting to get kind of a push. Maybe it was just a last ditch effort to get him to stay. But maybe he just had his heart, set on leaving anyways. But I mean, he probably kind of got the highest he's ever gonna get in WWE, during his time. You know what I mean? It just kind of is what it is. It seems like a guy kind of like Shelton Benjamin, who they just never pulled the trigger on as like, one of those like main event type guys, but really, really talented, not taking anything away from him, just never kind of fit that mold. So yeah, we'll see if he gets, I could see him, jumping in there, jumping in the American title picture, the whatever their continental belts, that sort of title picture, TNT, things like that, kind of jumping in right in there from the start, and maybe becoming a world champion. It's something we really haven't seen him do, and I think he's talented enough to do it. We'll see.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's exciting, the match possibilities that we could get here. So I'm excited to see him whenever he does.
Just to add on too, we're talking about speed. They're gonna do a speed women's champion, so they're not giving up on that gimmick yet. So that'd be interesting. So there will be a speed women's champion crowned soon.
Let's see.
Let's see if it lasts longer or shorter than the 24/7 title did.
Probably shorter. That 24/7 title had a little bit of a life, didn't it?
It lasted a while. A couple years, I think.
Least.
Maybe 3.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say because R-Truth held it 52 times, but I'm pretty sure a few of those were 10 minutes each.
I mean, 30 of those will be done in 2 months. So I don't know if that as a sign of anything.
No, R-Truth has held the most championships.
So the title died in November of 2022. And hold on, it takes. Oh my god, I forgot.
I say so many reigns. Oh yeah,
I gotta really scroll down this fucking page. Okay,
it's like the hardcore title. If you look it up, it would change hands on house shows multiple times in a match, but end up with the same person who started with it. But they count as totle reigns.
We were right about 3. Yeah, because it's. I said 2022, right? It starts May of 2019. So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyone remember who got that first? By the way. Quick trivia.
First 24/7 now.
Yeah, hurrah, hurrah, hurrah.
Oh yeah, it was a Tyson Hill. Yeah, because he just grabbed it.
Yeah,
he's like, all right, I'm a champion now.
Cool. Way to make me care about this title right away.
It's a ladder match without the ladder.
Although technically, Mick Foley was handed the first hardcore championship also. So.
Yeah, sure. That title didn't
Vince McMahon just handed him the hardcore belt, and he was just the inaugural champion just by being handed it. So
at least
kind of similar.
That's still the owner of the company handing it to an A-lister, and then at least proving the concept very quickly. Okay, at least it's a no DQ hard fought match, and it wasn't 24/7 for another year or 2 even. And then this title was Mick Foley, who's an A-lister, giving it to. No offense to Titus, a C-lister, in a really stupid way. So, a little different.
Anybody remember who Mankind's first opponent was for that hardcore title when he defended it that night?
I know he lost it to Boss Man. I don't remember. I don't know.
He first defended it against Ken Shamrock, and Boss Man interfered to help him keep it. It was when he was corporate Mankind with the shaved beard. So, wearing the suit, the tuxedo or whatever he was wearing. Yeah.
Yeah, so just a couple other pieces of news that I wanted to bring up before we get to. I know you had something also, Pez, but we did get Uncle Howdy will officially debut next Monday against Chad Gable, so I think that's something to look forward to. I've enjoyed the storyline so far. I thought it was going to take a little bit longer to see them debut in the ring, and I'm glad they don't wrestle with their masks on and stuff. I'm glad we get to see the actual wrestlers. So I really enjoy that.
I'm curious about Howdy though.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up.
And Nikki when she does.
Yeah. So, hey, you guys looking forward to the match? You guys got any expectations, or is it just going to be a main event Raw match? I assume it's going to be the main event.
I actually don't think it necessarily will.
No,
Did they main event? They did main event the
I,
six
they
man
did.
event.
They did the 6 man. So
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if they
Maybe.
did. I also wouldn't be surprised if they didn't.
It all just depends, I think. No, I mean, I'm excited for it here. I mean, I'm excited to see how exactly it works out. Like you said, mask, no mask. It's his first match. I mean, it's Bo's first match. He's never done anything on the Indies, I don't think. So it's Bo's first time in a long time. So that's also intriguing. And yeah, just the next chapter of this group. So yeah, I'm anticipating it.
Yeah, that's you.
I don't really have any thoughts. I only get to watch clips, because I don't have cable to watch
Right.
like Raw or SmackDown. The only ones I've been going back and watching clips for pretty much every consistently is like Bloodline stuff, Judgment Day stuff, World Title stuff, like sort of thing. I haven't been really watching the Wyatt stuff that much, at least the last couple weeks. So I'm just kind of waiting for them to make sort of a pay-per-view debut, and then I'll check it out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize this. 5 years, Bo Dallas has not had a single match. 2019 is the last time he was on a match. And fun fact, it was a 6-man tag where he lost to Chad Gable.
Oh,
That's a fun
interesting.
fact.
That's why they're going after Chaz. Long-term
You
storytelling.
put me out for 5 years. What long-term storytelling? That's
He
right.
also lost to Kalisto and Lindsay Dorado, but they ran away, so he can only focus on Chad Gable.
Yeah, they're not around to kill.
It's him, Ziggler, and Rude were lost that 6-man tag. He hadn't been on pay-per-view since Crown Jewel. He was in the tag team turmoil match.
I was gonna guess like the greatest Royal Rumble or something like that.
Close enough. I mean, a turmoil match, which is pretty much like every tag team we have. Quickly,
you're right. Scrap them all up. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if this was one of the matches because lately they've been uploading some full matches to YouTube. I wouldn't be surprised if this was one of them. Because I sometimes don't watch the show live either.
Once it goes to Netflix next year, I'll start watching it because it'll be on Netflix. Like I'll check it out, you know what I mean? Like, or at least check out the replay.
Right.
But yeah, like I'll be able to watch it more consistently. So, and even, or was it? No, SmackDown's going to be on USA, right? They're moving to USA, I believe.
Yes,
that's a
SmackDown's
thing, right?
on USA, NXT to CW,
yes.
Raw to Netflix.
Yeah. But everything's kind of shifting around, so it's kind of interesting. The new homes for everybody.
Yeah, and then just the other thing I wanted to bring up real quick and get your thoughts. Yeah, your guys' thoughts on Joe Hendry is the #1 contender for the NXT Championship. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely do you think it is that he wins the NXT Championship, Pez?
I won't say a full 10, but I might go like a 7.5 or an 8. Just because I think that could even just kick this cross-promotional thing with Impact into overdrive. Because could you imagine him showing them back up on Impact with the title? That would be pretty interesting. And then, maybe even having other Impact guys coming over to challenge, on NXT. I think you can just keep it going with that. I think he's proven that, he's obviously super over with the crowd. He even won over Booker T, damn it. Booker T now believes in Joe Hendry. It took him a while, but he believes now. But, he's got the charisma. I think it'd be interesting. I won't give it like a full 10 because I'm never like that certain. But I'll give it in the upper 25% or so, that he could take it. But JPO might disagree. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, JPO.
I'm pretty much in the same, but I'll say a 7. I'm leaning more towards it happening than not happening. Yeah. I mean, Ethan Page is damn good, so I'm not going to be like gobsmacked or upset if Ethan Page retains. He hasn't had it that long. But NXT is kind of no strangers to not necessarily having long reigns. Trick Williams wasn't like crazy long. I mean, hell, even like Shinsuke, like even in the early days, like there can be short reigns. Like they kind of like to maybe have fun and go like what's hot right now in NXT, which I don't necessarily mind. And I think, like Pez said, this would just really solidify like this partnership and really be interesting and newsworthy. And like the first time this has happened in God knows how long. So yeah, to me, it's the more interesting thing. Let's put over the really hot over guy. Like, why not? And that's me, and that's coming from a big Ethan Page fan too. Like that, I'm kind of really cool with like Hendry taking the title.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I thought we would all have different opinions on this, but apparently we're all of the same mind. And yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited at the possibility of Joe Hendry possibly being the NXT champion and showing up on TNA with it. Maybe having NXT championship matches on TNA. I think that would be
Hey, JPL watching
be
those
fun.
TNA pay-per-views, you can let us know. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's a possibility you could have like NXT champion versus TNA champion, like as a main event. Like that could be with two TNA wrestlers. That would be kind of insane. You know what I mean? Just and maybe even garner more interest in those pay-per-views. JPL.
No, absolutely. No, I mean, like I said, I mean, even at the NXT the TV tapings I just went to, Charlie Dempsey popped up. On the other taping, Dante Chan was there. Like, so they're still going at it. So yeah, they're still back and forth a little bit. So
yeah.
I think it would be cool too. Like with the say Joe Hendry does win and the rematch happens on TNA, who helps Ethan Page get the title back? A now heel Josh Alexander. I'm just saying there's possibilities there. There's intriguing things that could happen. So I just wanted to get you guys' quick thoughts on that. Pez, you had a news story that you had.
Yeah, no, we can probably wrap it up with this because it's more of a movie thing, but it is wrestling related. There's some interesting things to watch. Yeah, no, we that Chris Hemsworth Hulk Hogan biopic has been in kind of development, stalemate for about 5 years. Later, I looked it up. Like the first stories about it were in like 2019. As far as like being kind of signed that it was going to happen. Yeah. So literally like 5 years. And don't get me wrong, it could have been delayed or whatever. COVID was literally a year later, so that could have delayed some things. And then because of that delay, I know Hemsworth had to do Thor: Love and Thunder in like 21 or so for the 2022 release. So that makes sense. Todd Phillips then moved on. I'm sure it did this new Joker movie. So it may have just been a thing where the schedules could never really realign, to do it again. Then Hemsworth obviously went on to do Furiosa, things like that. So it's just like you just got to do it, what's available at the time. Maybe the stars just didn't align for it. Of course, it could also there was a good point. I actually just watched a clip of we're giving away a Furiosa Steelbook, by the way, because I made a stupid shipping mistake. I bought two accidentally, so we're gonna give that one away for our giveaway over on the Movie Network, along with a Funko Pop. Anyways,
can you rig it? I don't
know. Jordan has the thing. I don't know. I don't have access to that YouTube thing. But anyways, but it also could have something to do with the fact that Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are doing an older Hulk Hogan movie thing about the Gawker stuff, about the sex tape, the Bubba the Love Sponge thing, and the Gawker lawsuit and all that. Like they're doing a movie about that, so it could have been also like you would have theoretically had two Hulk Hogan movies going on at the same time, which would have been crazy. So I don't know. It's a whole big mashup. That movie is still happening as far as I know. But yeah, I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this movie. I feel like we've been talking about it for forever, like, hey, when's he going to do that? Every now and then he tweet out like him in the gym being like, getting ready, brother, whatever, something like that. And then it was just kind of, we didn't hear anything. But yeah, JPO, any thoughts on this thing? Finally, it's dead. It's finally dead. It's not just dead in the water. It's dead. It's scrapped. It's not happening.
No, I mean, it's a bummer. I kind of gave up hope a while ago. Like, I kind of just felt like, it's been a little too long. Like you said, there was still hope. There was still a slimmer of hope, like you said, COVID, and like sometimes people will go back to things. But I feel like in Hollywood, like, a lot of times when things just don't happen, there's a small chance. So that's a bummer. I'm always down for me. What are my two loves? For wrestling, movies. Yeah. And I'm down for more. You know what I mean? We're just now, I feel like, starting to get that with Iron
As we'll see in the tier ranker later, which is pretty much the entire topic of that. Pro wrestling and movies, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, better ones. Ones that are about wrestling, too, are really kind of uncommon. Like, you know what I mean? And good ones, too. They're still literally, like, I couldn't probably do we could do a countdown, top 10, and probably the last 5 I wouldn't even recommend. You know what I mean? Like, that sucks. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, that kind of sucks. So, like I said, it's super interesting on paper. I'd rather see that than the Gawker one for sure. But I'll watch the Gawker one because also you had me at Damon Affleck. So.
And I think Affleck's directing it. Yeah. So, I mean, like that's.
And I don't hate Live by Night. His track record's really good directing wise.
Yes. Jacob?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would have watched it. I think, like JP, my excitement has gone down as the years have gone by. But I'm a
My
Hemsworth
excitement
fan.
never went down. My hopes that it would ever happen.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah,
diminished. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just like every year went by and we didn't
was-
hear anything about
If
it.
it
It's like,
actually came out, I would have totally been stoked. But I just figured, like, I've heard about, like you said, this is going on, year 5, year 6. It's like,
right. I mean, I definitely would have tried to see it opening weekend for sure, unless it was one of those. So, yeah, because I like Hemsworth, Todd Phillips. I think he's a good director. So I think those two, like, yeah, and then me too. Like, I like wrestling, I like movies, and when you combine the two, I'm in. And like you said, as we'll probably talk about with a few of the choices in the tier ranker that we'll get to in just a little bit. So
yeah, that's all I had. Just a quick note.
Real quick, JPO, you got anything, and then we'll get into jump into some predictions.
No, so we still got plenty to go. So we can jump into predictions.
Let's do it.
I got them ready. If you want me to pop up on the screen,
Pop them on up, JPO, and I will pull them up.
All right.
So
let's set the over under at 4 matches being added in the next 2 days
for that pre-show.
Yeah, I'll say right off. Well, we'll get there here in a second. But yeah, we got All in London for the second year in a row. Next year,
I like that poster.
I think it was pretty badass. Yeah, usually I find a more generic poster, but this is too badass not to show. So that's the poster I went over here tonight. Here, good, like, just badass. I'd buy this like t-shirt if this was a t-shirt. Yeah, All In Sunday, August 25th will be going down, as we said. What is it, 1 p.m. Eastern? So check what times it's going to play for you. It's going to be an early one if you're
Jacob could watch it with like a brunch, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You could be having like, bacon and eggs.
I mean, if you start at the kickoff, you got to get some breakfast. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
As Jacob kind of hinted at, we probably will have more in the 0 hour because right now, only one match currently listed for the 0 hour, 9 more on the main show here. In the 0 hour, Willow Nightingale, CMLL Women's Champion. The teams are Tomohiro Ishii to take on Chris Stanlander and, yes, Stokely Hathaway wrestling in a match in this mixed tag team match. The stipulation being the winner will get to choose the stipulation for when they do fight for that CMLL Women's Championship, which will be right at All Out, a couple weeks later. So, Barber, who you got for this mixed tag match?
Yeah, I think the 0 hour. I think you want to get the crowd happy. I think, which is weird because picking a stipulation like that's sort of more of a heel move than a face move, typically. But what? Something tells me Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway might eke out a victory somehow. But I'm still going Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii just to be safe. It's the 0 hour. I don't know either because it's weird because 0 hour. It's I think you want to get the crowd into the show. I think starting off with a good face win, and that's like we said, 3 more matches could be added. where
I think we're going to see 4, if not more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'm like flipping the coin. I'm going back and forth in my head right now. I'm going to stick with Willow and Tomohiro, but I wouldn't be surprised either if the heels won to pick the stipulation.
Ishii. Pez, what you thinking?
Yeah, as Cornette says, Ishii. Anyway, yeah, I'll go with Willow and Ishii because, I mean, sometimes you want the baby face to kind of get to pick the stipulation sometime. You can't always have the heel do it. Then you get into like bloodline kind of stuff, and it gets a little predictable, but you can still have Willow do it, and then Chris and them find a way to overcome it. Something like that. I don't know. Like it's a pre-show match, so I think the baby faces go over here. I'll say Willow and Ishii.
Yeah, there's no disagreement here. I will third that Willow and Ishii. I also, in a way, don't see Ishii, like, he'll lose. He's lost on AEW before. I don't feel like he's going to lose the Hathaway. I think he might attest to that. I think even New Japan would be like, what the fuck are you doing, Tony? Stop it. Like, even if shenanigans involved, even like weapons or whatever involved, or if Chris got the pin on Willow, I don't think Stokely's going to win over Ishii. And also, too, like you guys kind of alluded to, the fact that it is a pre-show match, it kind of also makes you think, okay, start off fun, bump Stokely a little bit here, give the victory to the really bubbly, awesome Willow. And because of the way Chris Sandlander is kind of built too, I kind of feel like either way the stipulation is going to probably be the same. Like she's not a chicken shit heel really per se, so I don't really think the stipulation even really matters all that much. So we're gonna all agree on that. Over already into the main show now. We have the AEW Women's Championship on the line. Timeless Tony Storm taking on Mariah May. Pez, who you got?
Yeah, I don't follow AEW week to week as much as some of you guys do. I kind of feel like Tony's had these kind of easy wins, or at least pretty easy to predict, wins where we've been like, it's not time, and they finally got into an interesting storyline where Mariah, turned on her and bloated her up and everything. So I think it finally may actually be time you could take it off and make Tony the full baby face, chasing it again. And go after the heel champion. So I'll actually go with Mariah here and say Tony finally drops it here.
All right, we got title changes by Pez. I could see it going either way here. Mariah May's had a nice little build here, kind of being the lackey, and then the really good heel turn with the Owen Cup tournament win as well. I'm going to say, just because I don't necessarily think maybe the feud will be done, I'm going to say Tony Storm retains here. I can see it going either way here. But I could see Tony potentially walking away, still your champion, and maybe in a rematch, maybe dropping it if they get to there. Barber, we're split. Who are you with?
Yeah, this is one that I'm torn on because I mean, if Tony continues her reign, I think it's going to be good because I think the reign's been good so far. I like the character work she's doing. I like the heel turn that we saw from Mariah May, and I think she's really coming into her own as a character, and I think putting the title on her could be fun. I think we could still see a rematch. I think Tony deserves a rematch at the very least if she loses it. Again, it's like 50-50. That's the closest to margins. I'm gonna go Mariah May. I think Tony's had the belt long enough. I think she'll be fine if she loses it. I think her character work is good enough that she can still be interesting and engaging with the audience without a title feud. So I'll go Mariah May. But again, if Tony Storm is still the champion, I'm going to be fine with it because I love what she's doing.
All right, first split here tonight already on the main show. I think our timeless woman will take it. We got a couple here saying new champ in Mariah May. Then we got the All-American Championship on the line. Who knows if it will get back to being the the international title here. But for now, it's the All-American title. Our boy MJF, our scumbag, taking on Brav Will Ospreay. This one's to me. This is another one I could see going either way. MJF hasn't had the title too long. Man, I should have rated these better where I can get your opinions first. The other thing no, I'm gonna go Ospreay takes it. I think Ospreay getting the big Wembley pop will be pretty good here. I think the American title is a fun gimmick just to have just for the time being. I think we want to get back to calling it the international title here, and MJF can kind of move on to something else. So what do you think, Barber?
You bring up good points.
I try. And
they're points that I agree with. Yeah. Ospreay, he didn't really hold the title very long either. I just looked it up. He had the title for 52 days. So again, short reigns aren't something that they shy away from either. I think I don't think you need to make MJF 2-0 over Will Ospreay. And I'm not just saying that because I want to selfishly see, because I'm planning on getting tickets to Wrestle Dream in Tacoma. So hopefully I will be attending that show. And if this match is as good as their first match, or even 90% of what that match was, hopefully that third match could be also as good as these first two, and I could see a banger. So selfishly, I want Will Ospreay to win just so we can get that rubber match in Tacoma.
Pez, you with us? You against us?
This is interesting because MJF could always kind of screw Will again, using some shady tactics in his home country, get the mega heat, or Will could take the big hometown win. I'm gonna lean towards AEW. Usually lets guys kind of get their hometown wins, so I'm gonna say Ospreay takes this one in London.
All right, that's a clean sweep. You're with us, right, Barber?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, it's a clean sweep here for that American / international title. Speaking of title matches, we're got more singles titles on the line. It's a coffin match as a scapegoat Jack Perry takes on Darby Allin, a man who has never lost a coffin match. Just to keep that in mind. Pez, what you thinking?
Yeah, that's the kicker. It's like, didn't they have a coffin match last year at Wembley? The tag team one or whatever.
Tag match where Swerve lost.
Yeah.
Or did he? His dread was outside the coffin. So
that's right. I remember that. Yeah, because Darby's never lost one. Perry's got the elite, kind of watching his back. I might say that Darby actually takes a loss here. Maybe takes a crazy bump into the coffin or makes a mistake, and then maybe the elite guys. I could see. What's his name? Oh my God, why am I? Not the Bucks, the other one, the Japanese guy. Okada. Yeah, why am I blanking farting on his name? Yeah, I could see Okada getting involved in this one because I don't think he has an official match, but I could see Okada kind of interfering on this one and helping Jack out. So I'll say Perry actually puts Darby on the coffin.
I am 100% with you here. All signs to me point towards a Perry win. Other than that really relatively quick match with Marco Stunt, this is his first defense. You know what I mean? They're second now, but easily the first major defense on pay-per-view here since winning it in that ladder match. So does he drop it already after only having it in Darby? Well, Darby is great. Does he need his, what would this be? Third, fourth reign already with the title here to take it off Jack, who's relatively too soon, and I think needs to solidify himself as a top guy, as a TNT champion here, and a win defeating Darby for the first time in a coffin match. I think will show that. And then also, too, as you can see on his shoulder there, the title is new and changed. That was actually done by Perry himself. At least he claims he did it himself to make it more metal and disturbing, or not disturbing, but it just looks more evilish, which it would look good on Darby's shoulders. Darby actually would. It wouldn't look weird if Darby took that exact title. But I think I think it's just another kind of side reason as well, they just redid the title. Are they going to redo it just to give it to Darby, a couple days later? So, no, I think the one that kind of needs to win a lot more is also Jack Perry. Barber, you with us? You against us? What you think?
No, I'm with you, yeah. I think, Jack Perry, even though he's held the title for almost 2 months now, it still feels like we're early into his reign. Like you said, his first major defense, because, he did have that match against Marco Stunt, but nobody believed that Marco Stunt was going to win that match at all. I like the character work he's doing. I think he could go on a pretty lengthy run with the TNT title and make it mean just as much as when Christian was holding it. So let's go with Jack Perry. Let's make it a clean sweep.
That's a clean sweep for the scapegoat. We got the TBS Championship on the line here. CEO Mercedes Moné, likely being accompanied by Camille, taking on Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. PEZ, what you think? Or is it my turn now?
No, I think it's your turn now because I think I said.
Okay, so JPO, what you think about CEO and DMD? Ha ha ha. Okay, so
LOL. You gotta say with 3 letters. LOL, not ha ha.
Oopsies. No, kind of piggybacking off the logic before. While Monet has had some good TV title defenses here, she's actually had a couple of them. Although they were obviously Nyla Rose in the title. And that's just based off her booking. That's not a knock on Nyla Rose. I love Nyla Rose. But Mercedes Moné, this is her first, I think, big pay-per-view defense as well here. Britt Baker's been a really good kind of person to put people over in the past. I think that's what she's going to do here. So this will be a good match. I hope one day Britt Baker gets the title back. I feel like it's been quite a while. I feel like she was an early AEW champion, so I'd love to see the title back on her. I don't see it happening Sunday. I think Moné's retaining. Jacob.
Britt Baker should win. Mercedes Moné will win. I think I agree with everything that you said. I haven't been a fan of Mercedes Moné's reign so far, her AEW run so far. So hopefully this match can be a banger. I know she's talented in the ring, and I know Britt Baker, so I have high hopes for the match. But I don't know, the CEO character just isn't doing it for me right now. So hopefully something can change. But yeah, I'm still looking forward to the match. But yeah, Mercedes.
All right, Pez, what you thinking? You with us?
Yeah, I think the CEO is still going to hang on to it. Britt's still got doctor's appointments she got to get to, and she's still a part timer, technically. So, Monet, she's trying her best. Jacob as the character. I'm sorry you don't enjoy it. I know some people don't either, but she again heel champions. It works. So, I'll stick with the CEO on this one.
That's another clean to sweep here.
I'm curious what her hair is going to look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, her hair is going to be really shitty when she gets old. Isn't the kid? Was there like logic to like you can't dye it too much or you're going to really kill your roots or
something like that? Yeah.
The casino gauntlet match for guaranteed world title shot. It is Vegas, or whether it's going to be at All Out or just whenever. I meant to pull up. Do you have the Wikipedia up? Who's in this thing?
I do. So far, we have 6 names confirmed. Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, Hangman Adam Page, Evil Uno, and Roderick Strong.
Oh, Roddy's on there. I don't even remember seeing Roddy.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That's according to Wikipedia. And again, anybody can.
I also wouldn't be surprised if like Uno is hurt and we never see Uno the way they season on Wednesday. Just throwing that out there too, but he could be in it. He could be, just saying. Not like anyone else is picking him anyway. Barber, I don't even really know how you guys want to handle this. I guess just make your best guess as to who you think's going to win it.
I mean, is there going to be?
The box?
I was gonna say, is there going to be a wild card for sure, or are they still announcing people like on Collision?
It's a gauntlet. Yeah. Well, I'll say I would say this. Let's vote now. If you want to change your answer after Collision's aired, if they announce more people, then we can re-vote. But
I would say even up to 0 hour, they keep announcing people on Twitter, or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they should have all the main participants announced by Collision, I would imagine, right? So
not necessarily.
Maybe.
I don't feel like this is the kind of match that for sure who's all in it. Just like a Rumble, you don't necessarily know all the Rumble people every year,
Right.
I don't know. Like I said, I would say shoot your shot, Jacob. And if you want to change it, you got up till fucking 7:00 Sunday. Or I'm sorry, not 7:00 now, but whatever Sunday.
Yeah, I'm.
And if you want to go, if you want to go outside the box with like a Ricochet, that's your call too.
I'm torn because the possibility of revisiting Hangman and Swerve should he retain the title is very intriguing. So I'm kind of leaning that way, but I also would love to see Orange Cassidy, who's entering at number 1, run the gauntlet. And
don't forget, so this is also the match where they did this with Ospreay before. That's because this match is the kind of match where it could end before everyone's out. That's why he's number 1.
Yeah.
Right.
So
that's actually a good thing.
Then, yeah, exactly. Because I remember when they first said that, I was like, why the fuck do you want to be number 1? But they're doing that dumb shit again, which, by the way, I still hope if they do end it before everyone's out, that they cut to the back with all the people in gear that don't get to wrestle.
Well, and they also, hasn't it been weird to where they don't tell you how many total people are in it? Like, even the announcers have been confused about how many people are in this match again?
I just looked it up because I was curious too. And it said there was a maximum of 21. So I guess playing into that whole 21. Casino blackjack thing.
Okay,
21.
So there's supposedly 21 people lined up at the first match.
Up to 21. Yeah, I'm gonna go Orange Cassidy. I think him getting a world title shot could be fun. Doesn't Darby Allin already have a guaranteed title shot too for the future? So yeah, I think he does because he won that battle royal that took place after Blood and Guts, and it's for a future world title shot. Okay. So he's getting that at some point. I forget what special it's for, but yeah, he's got one too. So who knows? Maybe it'll be Darby Allin versus Orange Cassidy for the world title on the future show. Wouldn't that be something? I'm gonna go Orange Cassidy based on I love Orange Cassidy and I want him to win.
Good logic. Yes. Shoot your shot for now.
Yeah, I'll shoot my shot for Hangman actually, and I'll say that you could do an interesting thing where I think he could. I think they've been pushing him lately. He could actually do an interesting thing where even if Swerve loses, he could take the title from someone else, like a Danielson or whoever else might have, just keep it in his pocket, and then have the belt and make Swerve come after him, potentially, or something like that. You could do a slight variation on the different matches they've had. I don't know. I think it would be interesting to have Hangman's kind of been this wild card anyways. Like, is he with the elite guys? Is he not? Is he like, he's not really, he's kind of like doing his own thing. So I'll shoot my shot for Hangman on this one.
He was a close second for me. Yeah,
I
wouldn't be upset if you.
Yeah, of who's announced, y'all pick the best picks to pick here as far as potential people here. Hangman has kind of an unfinished story here. I'll say fucking be different, and I'll say Ricochet, man. If you sign him to a multi-year deal, he could easily be a fun opponent for Danielson or Swerve. Like, why not? I don't know. I feel like Heyman's won Battle Royals before, so that's kind of boring to me. So, and OC could get it for a different reason too. So, yeah, I'm not against either one of those winning here, and I'll just try to be different. Up next, we have everyone's favorite title, favorite match. We were clamoring for this rematch here, like Shawn and Taker. Again, I forgot who's next. Who's next on this shit?
Pez.
Me, yeah,
Pez,
I mean,
and this is also quick stipulation: if Hook loses, he can't challenge again until someone else is champion. That kind of shit. But you got it. Give us a name. I agree,
but because of the stipulation, Hook. But I don't care.
You know what's funny? I'm going to agree and disagree all at once. Because of the stipulation, Jericho, get Hook away from this fucking bullshit title for at least for a little while here. Let Jericho have fun and continue his, like, he's even counting the days on his, like, time draw and, like, 53 days as champion. Let him have fun with this dumb title. It doesn't really matter. Let Hook go away, challenge for the TNT title, or become a tag guy or do something. Get him away from his dad's fake title. So I actually don't want Hook to win. So he can get away from this title here. Yeah, and also, too, just to show on this match a little bit here, I didn't mind the first one. I didn't mind the triple threat with Shibata, but it was definitely never like, let's keep this feud going. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we got Ospreay and MJF, but at least their first match was like
this. Once again, JPO stinks of like Jericho being like, I want to be on the pay-per-view again too. I need a match. Yeah.
The most egregious, I think, of them all. Even worse than that, like 7-way random match they had. This just screams, gotta find a spot for Jericho. We haven't done anything else that would make sense. This at least makes sense because they've been fighting for a while. This does not scream Mania worthy. All in worthy.
You could save this for All Out, the one that's like 2 weeks later.
Do that, and honestly, put Jericho on the gauntlet. And I also thought about this. I would have liked to have seen Jericho take out random Pac and the Blackpool guys. Put Jericho's group in that ladder match. Like, you could have done something else with him if you really felt the need. This just screams
with Jericho, Brian Keith, and Big Bill in that ladder match. Yeah,
have them in that trio. They're an actual trio, unlike the 14 that's just there because again, let's give them a spot on the show, or put Jericho in the gauntlet if you really feel the need to highlight Jericho a little bit. Barber, who you got? I know you're excited.
Hook.
All right.
There we go.
Again, I want Hook to lose for the better of Hook. So, so we're split on that one here. Two for Hook, one for Jericho. Triple Threat Tag Team titles on the line. FTR, Cash, and Dax taking on the Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, and then the acclaimed Max Caster, Anthony Bones, along with Daddy Ass Billy Gunn. I think it's falling to me now. As far as excitement wise, okay, you know what I mean. I'm sure it'll be a good one here. I actually like the Acclaim being in it because I don't know. FTR and Young Bucks had just a good but not great match last year. So again, I wasn't necessarily claiming for this rematch. And speaking of people that don't defend the titles all that much, hi Young Bucks, how you doing? So I kind of want them to lose because of that. Let's give it back to FTR. At least they'll like defend more. You know, if you want, maybe turn them heel. Just do something. I don't know. I'm just kind of, I don't mind them being shitty heel EVPs, but wrestle more than if you're gonna do that. So I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm done with their reign already because I think it's been shitty. I'm gonna go FTR. Barber.
Yeah, I'm also not a fan of their title reign. I am a fan of the character work that they're doing as the heel EVPs, and I think that can continue without the titles. I think yeah, you put the titles on FTR. That's who I'm going to go with them. And you know they can have a good feud, sort of like a Stone Cold Vince McMahon feud, where you know they're putting them in all these situations where it seems unwinnable, but somehow FTR finds a way to pull it out. So I love the Acclaimed. I think they're a good team. I think this match has the potential to be a match of the night contender. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. I would be fine if either of the opponents won. I just don't want a Young Bucks victory because yeah, like you said, I think they've defended the title once. I think they did. Yeah. In what?
It was the DQ win over Acclaimed. It's been 124 days.
Yes, it's been 4 months. One defense.
And not even a clean win. DQ.
Not even a clean win. So yeah, let's put the titles on FTR. They are one of the best, probably one of the top 3 tag teams in the world today. So give them your belts. Let them run your tag team division.
Pez, I got my chicken tenders from Publix, which is where you hang out with.
I haven't. It's been a minute since I see him come in, so like I don't know if he just hasn't been around home in a while. I don't know. It's been a minute. I'm always on the lookout for him. But you know, we've got a lot of heels going over so far in the show, and again, I feel like you need some faces to go over, and maybe a big face win. Maybe like an underdog win. I'm going to go with the Acclaimed getting a big win in Wembley, actually, and maybe getting a big kind of underdog win. FTR and the Bucks won't be hurt by losing, in this match. They can still put up a good show. I think it would be really cool to give the Acclaimed like one really, really big pay-per-view win here in front of a big crowd. So I'm actually going with the big kind of underdog victory story here with the Acclaimed.
Nice. Yeah, well, we all agree there will be new champs. A little bit of split here. A little bit left for the Acclaim. The Acclaim. That's my name. The Acclaim. And as well as FTR. The London ladder match, which is the Patriarchy, Christian Cage along with Killshot and Nick Wayne and your other champion, Mother Wayne, taking on the Bang Bang Gang and Juice Robinson, Austin and Colton Gunn, the House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews. And a little bit of a spoiler, if you really don't want to know, cover here. It's about 10 more seconds, even though we're probably going to keep talking about it.
I don't care.
For Jacob to cover a second. No, it's Pac, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta is the 4th team here. Again, kind of to me a thrown together. Oh shit, we like these guys. Let's put them in this 12-man ladder match, y'all. Piece that in your mind. 12.
Well, and again, to your point, wouldn't have made more sense to get an actual trio like the Learning Tree? Would have made more sense.
A real trio?
Yeah.
You're not in loss of trios, so yeah, they could have.
And you kind of could have gotten some more meat with Big Bill, Jericho being a veteran of ladder matches, TLC matches, that sort of thing. Like that would have thrown a little mix in there. I don't know. Yeah.
No, just obviously, he's got a thing for Yuta for sure. Tony Khan. Yeah. Claudio, I guess he wants to give Claudio a spot, and Pac. I think it does make sense to put Pac on the show. He'll probably get a good pop, but again, as far as it making sense for this match, and why I don't think they'll have much of a shot, but maybe you'll disagree, Barber.
Yeah. So Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club are not winning. That much I know for sure, but I could see any of the other 3 teams honestly pulling it out. I just want to know what makes this a London ladder match. It's just because it's in London. Are the ladders different than American ladders?
Why is it a Chicago street fight? Because they're in Chicago. Exactly. It's dumb.
Because it's going to be like European rounds in a ladder match. They'll take a break every 5 minutes, for like tea, and then
That
they'll
would be
start
cool.
again. Yeah. Hey,
I would
everybody
pop.
stop. All right. Sip your tea. All right, back to it.
Is everyone gonna climb on the other side of the ladder like they drive on the other side of the? I don't know. I I know that the patriarchy haven't held the titles for too long. But maybe this is me going heart over head and just who I want to see win. I want to see House of Black pull it out. I want House of Black to pull it out. So yeah, this is probably the one I'm least confident in, though.
Yeah, this is 34 days, only 34, and the first defense, by the way, of the patriarchy. Bez?
Yeah, just because it's like their first defense, I'm going to say the patriarchy hang on to it. But I'm kind of with you, Jacob. I would not be mad if the House of Black finally got a big win and got those trios titles. I'll say that. So, yeah, my heart is with House of Black, but my brain is going to go to the patriarchy. Yeah.
I mean, I hate to be a third wheel here, but more or less with you on that here. I think because I like what the patriarchy is doing. My heart, actually, I'll even say my heart's with my mind here. Well, I wouldn't mind House of Black getting a big win because I thought their reign should have been longer too, and I really like that trio. I also like what they're doing with Christian Cage. I love the fact that he, shunned a kill shot and he gave the title to Nick Wayne's mother. That's why she's holding it in the picture, because he's again just being a real shithead to kill switch, and they're building up that inevitable turn. So I'm enjoying that, and again, because we kind of just started. So yeah, and I think just a fun heel Christian, probably even Nick Wayne and Kill Switch would be the ones to grab the titles, and Christian will just, grab them off them or whatever. So we're all in a bit of an agreement here as a, who get it, and also kind of a unofficial second pick as well. All right.
If you would have told me when Christian signed to AEW that he would be a 3-time champion, I would have told you crazy. But no, he'd
hold the second biggest singles title and also the random trios. Yeah, good for him, man. And I feel like we're not even done. I could see him having hopefully a little while longer and doing some more fun stuff.
Not to mention the TNA title that he held as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's former. Yeah, ended up being a world champion of some sorts. The final countdown: title versus career here, as Swerve Strickland defends the world championship against Bryan Danielson. Barber, will we say goodbye to Danielson as a competitor, or will Swerve? Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean. What was your answer?
Yeah, I'm torn because, man, I selfishly wish they would have saved this match for Wrestle Dream. I think that would have been the perfect main event. State of Washington, Swerve Strickland, Bryan Danielson, hometown guys, where I feel like a loss wouldn't hurt Bryan. You retire in your hometown, in your home state, and that's what a way to go out. But again, this is AEW's biggest show, so it also makes sense to do it here. However, I think we will see Bryan Danielson walk into the Tacoma Dome with the AEW World Championship around his waist. So I'm going Bryan Danielson on this one.
All right, Pez, new champ, or is he saying bye-bye?
Yeah, I think it's going to be new champ, especially with that, stipulation. They made a big deal, especially Nigel McGuinness, wink, wink on commentary has made a big deal about, Bryan calls himself the best in the world, yet he's never been, AEW world champion. Hint, Nigel, he did win at WrestleMania and was world champion at WrestleMania in the main event. That's a pretty fucking big deal. But, it's all right, Nigel. But, they made a big deal about that since he got released to AEW, that he hasn't won the big one. And yeah, putting everything on the line with that. And plus, I think you want to end the show on a big moment, a big, kind of, big standing ovation kind of moment. So, I think it'll be a great match. Bryan said also as well, he's like, hey, look, if I break my body into a million pieces, while, trying to win this title, so be it. But yeah, I think Jacob, he will walk into your neck of the woods with the title.
Yeah, Jacob, don't, I know you like to see him win the title here, but now you can see him lose the title because I will, again, hate to do it, but I will piggyback and agree. New champ, Bryan Danielson winning here. I don't necessarily believe that he's ready to 1,000% say goodbye, especially at this age,
No.
too.
Yeah.
I think this dude's going to be Dory Funk. I think this dude's going to pop up every once in a while until he physically can't go in his 60s, 70s. Again, like being like, let's say the fifth member at like, a Stadium Stampede or a Blood and Guts or even like popping up in New Japan every once in a while. I think this dude will pop up here and there and not necessarily try to close the door completely here. I would love to see one more reign too. We haven't had it. Even when he did he ever get it, the WWE title when he returned? No, he didn't, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
He
held he held it going into Kofi Mania. He's the one that lost it to he's the one that Kofi won the WWE title.
Oh, that was after his return. It's like his retirement return. When he retired the first time because he had to.
What?
He had to retire because of brain injuries.
Oh, the first time?
Yeah. Was his title was he a world champion since coming out of retirement? Is what I'm asking.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Then never mind.
Yeah, he retired before. Yeah, he going into I believe it was WrestleMania. Was it 34? Was that the Kofi Mania? I believe. Why are these Wikipedia pages so long?
It's fine. I was just saying it's my.
Oh no, so WrestleMania 34 was the one he returned at. That's what I'm thinking. WrestleMania 34, and then WrestleMania 35, he walked in as champion, lost to Kofi. I believe that might have been his only reign.
Okay.
Post retirement.
Okay. That's fine. Again, I was just saying he hasn't had it since his WWE days. It's been a while. I'd love to see a world title on Danielson one more time. I also look at it kind of similar to Sting. I feel like Swerve wins. While we love Swerve, I think we a little bit of a whoop ending instead of just this crazy big. Again, this is like the biggest show of the year. I feel like you want to end on a bang, and I think that will be Danielson getting the title for one last time.
Mm-hmm. Well, Danielson said, by the way, just to be clear, he's just not going to be a full-timer anymore. He said also, I will wrestle until my body physically can't do it anymore. He said that before.
No, right, but that's not what they're saying now anymore. This is it. Like even
right, but I'm saying in other interviews outside of AEW, he said, I will keep wrestling as long as my body.
I know, but they've re-updated. I know, but I think even with that being in canon, like they're saying now, and he's even said in interviews more recently, like, I don't know, my body's kind of giving up. It's not wrestling's not a thing you can just do part-time. Like they've revamped that. I know what you're saying. I feel like they've tried to revamp those sayings now of like, yeah, I thought that once upon a time, but I don't know. Once I'm done kind of thing. And that's what they're saying here. This isn't just about full time anymore. This is like they're selling this as if he'll never wrestle again. Because even Swerve said that. Like, oh, you think you could just pop up in an indie? No, I'll beat you down. You think you can go to Mexico, put a mask on? No, I'll find you and I'll beat you down. Like this is it. Like you lose. So that's
I understand what you're saying too. I'm saying I think he's gonna win, and then but continue to wrestle, and then he just has said he's not gonna be starting in 2025. He's not gonna be a full timer anymore.
Oh, then never mind. Then we're agreeing completely. Sweet.
We're agreeing completely. I was not continuing with that. I was not saying that if he loses this match, then he's going to pop up in an indie. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I think he's going to win this title and then continue to wrestle, but then drop down to part-time afterwards going forward, whenever he drops the title. And you said pop up every now and then. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, that's what I think. So
we're in agreement. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. No, I understand. I understand the stipulation. Like they've made it very clear. Yes, if he loses, he can't just go to Ring of Honor. Go wherever. AAA. You know what I mean? Like, I get that. No, I understand.
And that's your all-in card for Sunday.
Mm-hmm. So far.
Well, yeah, I'm sure we'll get some more Zero. I feel like the main show is pretty much set. I don't feel like they're gonna unless you throw
nine matches feels good for the main card.
Yeah, no, you really don't. If they can, if they've done it before, But yeah, unless like an Okada match it's thrown in, but I feel like they're gonna just randomly.
And you got to think about the Casino Gauntlet might be a slightly longer match. The
That could
ladder
take some
match kind of
time.
a longer match.
Absolutely.
Some of these you
Yeah.
could take longer.
Your main
James
event.
Ospreay, your main event.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like pretty positive they'll add like 2 more matches to 0 Hour. I'm sure they will. JP,
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll let us know via their Twitter account or whatever. When they start announcing
Yeah.
other matches. 0 Hour because they got a whole hour to fill. They've only got one so far. I'm sure they'll add some other people to 0 Hour. Like that will probably work.
No, 100% here. I could easily see, whoever had left a Jarrett, a Dark Order. There's still plenty of Kyle Fletcher. They still got a huge
Dustin
roster,
Rhodes and Sammy Guevara.
Yeah, Dustin and Sammy are working on their tag champs because anyone didn't know that happened.
Yeah.
I'm calling it now, too. The main event, at least 30 minutes.
Yeah, a lot of those matches scream long. So it's not going to be a short night. It's going to be 4 hours probably with those 9. So
yeah. All right. Sounds good. So shall we get to our main event of the evening, Mr. Barber?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Do it.
Yeah, boom! Look what I got for you. There we go.
Whoa.
JPO.
True.
JPO is really good at predictions, so he was able to choose another topic. And this time, if you are a fan of the Movie Hero Network, you know that they do a little show called Tier Ranker Fights, where we're going to do not as long as a normal episode of Tier Ranker Fights. Thankfully, there are only 3 of us here.
So I think we could bang out a good amount of them in like an hour-ish, you know what I mean? Between the 3 of us. Because I don't... We're not going to yap. We can bring up something... 20 seconds, go to the next guy, 20 seconds, go to the next guy, 20 seconds, come up with a pretty quick ranking, most of these. Yeah.
And we'll see, because I looked at the list earlier. I have seen exactly half of these movies.
Right. So, I feel like JP has seen the most out of all.
Well, he picked all 100 of them.
He is the man who will watch anything if you put a wretler in it. So,
I've spent many hours lost in my life.
That's right. On many a red box or a straight to streaming, movie, just because it has a certain wrestler in it. Yes.
So much like Tier Ranker Fights, we will start at the bottom. He will pick a movie. He will give it a grade S, A, B, C, D, or F. And then, based off of the rankings that we all give collectively, it will find its way into a tier. Are we trying to get 10 in the S, or do we want to make it a smaller number since we're shortening it?
I don't know. I mean, we'll just kind of see how it goes. We don't have to have like a certain amount, I don't think, tonight, because we're not doing like a full like tier ranker show.
I say rules are out the window.
Just vote with your heart. We'll get to it. We'll go. Let's just say we go for roughly an hour and see where we're at. You know what I mean?
I like that.
You know what I'm
I just wanted to see what we were all thinking
and see what happens. Throw it in whatever tier you want. Whatever thing you want to nominate. Just go for something. No biggie. No big deal.
So we're just tier ranking movies.
Whatever we feel like bringing up. That's right. Wrestlers and movies.
We can start at the bottom, and since this is his idea, I think it's fitting anyway that JPO goes first.
Yes.
All right, let's go to one of my.
Okay. Quick point of order. I did add one movie. JPO. You had Dune Part 1. I added Dune Part 2 just as a formality. Okay. That's all. Just wanted to say it wasn't on the official list, but I just added that just as a formality thing.
I didn't have an official list. It's just a list I found, and I added a little bit myself. So.
Oh yeah. So, and if you don't see something, whatever, just go with what we got. So, but they are in alphabetical order. I will continue to kind of scroll up and down.
Every Marine movie except for the 4th one.
I know. Only the 4th one wasn't on the list, so I didn't put the 4th one in there. Who's in the 4th one? Is that
a lot of them were? No, still the Miz. Yeah, Miz is 3 through 6 there.
Yeah.
No particular reason. I don't think a lot of his weren't on there. I had to add the other ones, and then I was like, I'm at 100. Fine, we're good enough. I don't feel like anyone's gonna fight for Marine 4. All right, now let's scroll back up to the Fs here. Let's go for Fighting with My Family. I want to put that in the S tier. Be the one to nominate that here. Of course, you got The Rock playing himself, as well as only small cameos outside of that between like Sheamus and the Big Show here. My girl Florence Pugh. Hey, if we talk Dune 2, maybe we'll talk more Florence later. So good as Paige here. It's a great story. I love the wrestler with Mickey Rourke. It's a very sad view of pro wrestling and like a guy who just kind of, probably dies in the end of the movie here. And so, is addicted to drugs and women. This to me is a wrestling movie that I can proudly show anybody, myself, my grandma, my niece, and embrace wrestling and love it. It gives it respect. It shows how hard it is. It's also just a really good tale of, it's kind of a coming of age tale. Ticker at the bottom. It's a good coming of age tale as well. It's a good, life lesson of, sometimes, things are tough and unfair. Don't judge a book by its cover. It's just a really well-made movie directed by Ricky Gervais's friend, Stephen Merchant, who also has a fun cameo in it as well. Nick Frost is great as the dad. Lena Headey as the mom, the guy that plays the brother. It just, I think, works on every level.
I love how you were naming everyone the guy that plays the brother. I would have said the exact same
You're
thing.
A good actor.
I would have said the exact same thing.
I don't know your name.
Oh, on me? Yeah. I'll go A tier for Fighting with My Family. I don't think it's quite at that S level. I think it's a good movie, a really good movie. But I may also factor in somewhat of the actual wrestler performances in there, just a little bit. Not my full thing of whether or not it makes S tier or whatever, but at least something. But I like the movie. I'm just not as in love with it as everybody else. I'll go A tier.
Jack Lowden. Shout out to Jack Lowden, by the way.
Yeah. I'm torn between an S and an A. I think it's.
I will say, keep in mind, because it's wrestling. I feel like we should have a lower standard because not a lot of these are good movies.
Right.
Well, that's fine. I still would go A tier. I have other movies higher than that.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, and then I haven't actually looked at the list in depth, so I glanced over it, and so I'm just giving my initial reactions. And my initial reaction is I think this could be a fitting S tier movie. I think we're talking wrestlers in movies, and what better? I mean, this is also a wrestling movie itself. You got The Rock playing himself. JP, all the performances you mentioned, I think are really good.
Vince Vaughn, who's an amalgamation of 5 different people.
Yeah. The fact that Stephen Merchant of all people, that was when I at first when I heard this was announced, I was like, okay. And then I watched the movie and I was like, oh, okay. So I really enjoy this movie. I go back to it from time to time. I think Florence Pugh is really good. So, yeah, I mean, sure, they took a few liberties with the story, but what movie based on a true story hasn't? So, I'll go S tier. I think it's a good one based on the list.
Stephen Merchant, what's up, buddy? You've made 3 films. This is your last film so far. Good, make another movie.
Yeah.
The last thing I saw him in was he was on the Big Bang Theory. I was binging through the Big Bang Theory, and I forgot he was in an episode of that. Plays a nerd really well.
All right. 2 S's and an A, so it'll be in that S tier. I mean, I'll go for just a predictable one to start with, one that should be a pretty easy S. So let's go a little Predator. One of the greatest action movies of all time. Even when me and JPO ranked that Alien Predator franchise, I had it right behind Aliens. I think this movie's pretty damn masterful, especially for a pretty debut film from John McTiernan. And even just singling out the rest of the performance, Jesse Ventura steals every scene he's in, until he exits the movie. He's pretty great, pretty iconic lines. I ain't got time to bleed. This stuff will make you a goddamn sexual Tyrannosaurus just like me. He's pretty great, with the Gatling gun and everything. Just a classic 80s action. It holds up. So I'll go S tier for Predator. Pretty simple. We'll start pretty simple here.
Yeah, like you said, simple star. I'm also going to go with the S tier here. I think this is a pretty good action movie. I think they sprinkle in some horror elements as well, and I think they do it really well. I think the action is top notch. Jesse Ventura is pretty amazing. Yeah, like you said, steals the scene every time he's in it with some pretty iconic lines. So pretty rewatchable as well as far as action movies go. I think it's making the S tier no matter what the category is. Arnold movies, wrestlers in movies, action, anything. It's that good. It gets better every time I watch it too. So I'll go with the S tier.
Strategically, I should say A, so it can even up with fighting with my family. But no, I like Predator 1 a lot too. I think it's a great. We talked about it recently, me and Pez on the top. We ranked Alien and Predator all together here. This was high on both of our lists here. Still holds up on pretty much every level here, even a fun cat and mouse game towards the end. So yeah, I'll say S as well. It's a banger.
It's a banger. Sure is. All right. Clean sweep out of the three of us for Predator, Mr. Barber.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with I'm probably be you can go ahead and stop because I feel like I'm being fairly predictable here. There's a Tim Burton movie on the list.
I see.
I'm going with the Tim Burton movie.
Yeah.
What might surprise someone because I've had a favorite Tim Burton movie for a while, and it used to not be Ed Wood, but on these last few rewatches, my favorite Tim Burton movie has now become Ed Wood. I think this movie is fantastic. I love this movie. The wrestler in this one is George the Animal Steel. I think he is really good. I think this is a fun movie about Ed Wood directing, and just kind of how his style and his take on it. But what I really love about this movie, and the thing that I've picked up on these last couple of rewatches, is that it's also sort of like Bela Lugosi's last days as well, and I think they handled that really well. So yeah, I absolutely love this movie. It has not only crawled up my Tim Burton list, it's crawled up like my personal favorite movies of all time as well. I think this movie is incredible. I love the black and white. I love Johnny Depp's performance. Just everything about this movie I think works. So I'm gonna go with the S tier for Ed Wood.
Mm-hmm. JPO.
This was not on my list of movies to nominate, just because I knew it would be on Barber's movies to nominate. So he'll get to it for sure. I won't even bother putting it high up on my list because I would have had it high up as well here. I'm a big fan of this one as well for Tim Burton. I'd have to look off the top of my head. I gotta assume it's in my top 5 for sure. I've enjoyed this. I'm also a sucker for a good movie about making movies here too. So that does really good as well. I love Depp in this. And another fun little wrestling tie-in, of course, is Academy Award-winning performance by Martin Landau, who would be Sal Bandini or Honor Wrestle just a few years later. Mm-hmm. And so I love this movie as well. I'm gonna say S tier as well. I think we're running out with some good films so far.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm 100% on the S tier. Yeah, this is a movie I just discovered probably 4 or 5 years ago, and I've watched it like 8 or 9 times since then. It's jumped into my 128. Like, I love this movie so much. I love movies, or just how much I like bad movies, and better yet, movies about bad movies, and a guy who it's just such a sincere performance from Johnny Depp. I just love his sport. He's so lovable, as Ed Wood. A guy who he's got the passion for it. He just doesn't have the lick of talent, to make them. And you know what? But yeah, that's why you love him, because he loves movies and he loves making them. He just doesn't know how the hell to make them. Like you said, George Animal Steel is kind of perfect casting a wrestler for a wrestler, and it just works out kind of perfectly because they look alike with each other, and it's great. And I agree with you, Jake. I think this is like a top 3 or top 5, like Johnny Depp performance and Tim Burton movie. Like, this thing's awesome. I just think it's fantastic. So it actually won 2 Oscars because it won for makeup as well, hair and makeup. So pretty cool. Their little tidbit there, along with the Martin Landau thing. So a multi-time Oscar-winning movie with Ed Wood. But I'll make it a clean sweep for Ed Wood.
Nice. Makes a fun double feature with the Disaster Artist.
That's what I mean. Yeah, if you want a great like double feature of like making bad movies, this and the Disaster Artist are pretty damn good. Or even just you can split those and do the double feature of Ed Wood and Plan 9 from Outer Space to watch.
Yeah,
like, the
also
movie
that
and the making of the bad movie, Disaster Artist with The Room. Like, those are great. Like, if you want a marathon one day and just like watch them all back to back, like that's also great. It's a totally great double feature of the Disaster Artist, which I just saw The Room again in theaters the other day with Greg Sestero. If some of you guys saw my Facebook post about
I thought, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Greg Sestero was in the movie, who wrote The Disaster Artist, the book that the movie's based on. So that was a lot of fun. That was like my 4th or 5th time seeing it in a theater, though. So with a crowd. Oh man, if you ever get a chance to see it with a crowd like The Room, it just makes it that much better. It's so great, so much fun. All right, JPO, if you're there, I believe we were back down to you, sir. What you got, buddy?
Wait, is it me?
JPO or Jacob just went with Ed Wood, so.
Oh, okay. I'm bad with math.
It goes only 3 of us.
It goes quicker with only 3 of us, so.
I won't always do this, but let's go to the Puppa Peas And let's get Peanut Butter Falcon on there, baby. By that I mean movies that are also have wrestling inspired moments in it.
Yeah.
This just happens to work out because again, it's not necessarily the main focus here. It is really just about the great relationship that I won't say Zach Knudsen, Zach Gunson, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Connects with Shia LaBeouf here, and it's just a really sweet, earnest, well-made tale here that has your heart aflutter here. There's even like a fantastical element at the very end that you still kind of just go with because it just warms your heart enough. And really cool, fun performances too by Mick Foley and Jake the Snake Roberts, who pop up in the end there as well, which is cool for me because I've had moments with both guys. So it's kind of cool seeing those two pop up. Roberts even turns heel in this movie, and but yeah, just Dakota Johnson's really good as well. Bruce Dern, I just think it's such a good, 1 to 10 movie. Even a good like rewatch too. It's one that I think I could watch like every year or so and really appreciate. So
Zach Gottsagen.
Something
like that, yeah. So that is.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, yeah, you have to kind of look at the overall scheme of things, yeah, as far as what we got to work with here. And again, Fighting with Family is a good movie. I'm just not as high on as everybody else. But yeah, Peanut Butter Falcon is an excellent movie. Yeah, and I feel like we kind of have to champion those Shia LaBeouf performances, when we can, because he's really great. And yeah, the young actor there is really good. Yes, some good wrestler cameos popping up as well. Yeah, really solid, just kind of indie movie that sort of came out of nowhere and had that wrestling theme. Again, we don't get many movies kind of where wrestling is sort of, at the center or a central part of the storyline. So it's a good one. I'll give it an S tier, but I will say it'll be lower than stuff like Predator and Ed Wood. I'll just say that if we end up individually ranking them.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there. I'll give it S tier, but yeah, like the lower end of the S tier, I do think the performances from the three on the poster are pretty great. I love the relationship that builds between Shia LaBeouf and Zach's characters. The cameos from Mick Foley and Jake Roberts are really fun. And yeah, as someone who's worked closely with those with special needs, it's cool seeing them kind of front and center in something like this. So yeah, I'll give it an S tier. I love this movie.
All right. Well, there we go. We'll scoop that in there. All right, my turn. I'll go for a fun one. Let's go for that F tier, one that I have seen, and it's not one of these straight-to-video ones, JPO, but it is a movie that I saw, I believe, on Amazon Prime, and I just came naturally. I didn't even have it, recommended. I just came across it one day, and I was like, oh, I got to see this. A Wrestling Dog, and John Morrison's in it. Air Bud presents Wrestle Madness. Holy shit, is this movie terrible? This movie's the shits. It's about wrestling. It's literally a dog wrestling people, and then kind of talking on the side, doing that weird CGI mouth, Jacob, that they do in some of these movies with the animals that always bugs me. I'd rather have it be like Homeward Bound, where they just kind of talk in their head or something, or if you're gonna do it, do a full CGI animal, or whatever, that's fine.
Yeah.
When you try to make it realistic, but then have the CGI mouth, that's always weird to me. He talks to the monkey in the movie, and yeah, like I said, the main event sort of thing is literally him and John Morrison. He's flying off the ropes and doing drop kicks to grown men. It's nonsensical. It's ridiculous. One of these ones that's also treated like wrestling is real per se, where it's a real fight. That always kind of bugs me when there's no backstage putting it together, you know what I mean? Not even oh, I'll work with the dog and I'll make the dog look good, like Kenny Omega working with the 9-year-old girl or whatever. It's just oh no, it's a real fight, and that's what wrestling's all about. That always bugs me in movies. This movie blows. It sucks. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I'll nominate Wrestle Madness for F tier.
I have not seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen the trailer though, and the trailer alone is worthy of an F tier. So I will
look. I'm the one guy who's seen those Air Bud sequels, who watched MVP, Most Valuable Primate, who watched Ed, the baseball chimpanzee movie, all that shit. I think these movies are hilarious, but in the worst way of holy shit, this is actually a movie. What is going on? But hey, it has John Morrison and JPO. Did you see Wrestle Madness?
I used to own this on Blu-ray because I found it at the Dollar Tree.
And
I still never found the will to put it in the player, so I have not seen this.
Okay.
I don't know, something between animals is not something I jump to, and never heard good things. Didn't look good as the trailer said, as Barber said. So I haven't seen it, but please, I don't know if this is against the rules. Can we leave it in the F, please?
Oh no, I was gonna say like this isn't like a traditional tier ranker where it's like, oh,
Yeah,
we need
leave
at
it
least
there.
like 2 of us. Like, trust me on this one. Just take my word for
Yeah.
it.
I was gonna say I was even gonna like cheat and just say F just to agree with you. Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's what I was saying. I was saying based on the trailer alone, I'm saying.
Oh, you can watch the trailer and say it's an F tier. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I feel
JP could probably look at the back of that Blu-ray and tell it's going to be an F tier. Just be like, oh my
I'm
god.
That
telling you, I
poster
bought it. And I was
alone.
like, I can't not buy it because again, a wrestler was in it. But like,
Right.
I kind of even knew when I bought it, like, this is never getting open.
Oh yeah. I'm surprised you paid $1 for it. I think you overpaid. I watched it on Prime for free.
I cannot. $1, anything with Larry Cable, or not Larry Cable guy, but Santino Morella. Like, if you're in it, I'll buy it.
Gotcha.
Oh, Christmas Bounty. That's another one I bought because it's $1. Miss, you're in.
All right, Jacob.
Well, let's keep the fun going. You can go ahead and scroll back up because
Okay.
I want to go with Batman and Robin.
Okay.
Which I know some people view it as a bad movie, but I have so much fun with this movie that I am very comfortable putting it in the B tier.
Okay.
I think this is a fun movie. I think the cheesy one-liners, the bat nipples, everything about this. Sometimes superhero movies don't need to be serious. You just need to be able to have fun with them. And that's exactly what Batman and Robin is. So I'm going to put Batman and Robin in the B tier and see what you guys think.
Technically, 2 wrestlers in Batman and Robin because we have Jesse Ventura in a very small role as one of the Arkham guards, and Bane himself. Yeah, Jeep Swinson was a wrestler, so we have 2 wrestlers in there actually. Yeah, JPU.
Yeah, I get what Barber's saying, so I'll give it a C. It's never a like hate watch, but it's definitely not a good movie either. But yeah, I'll say a C. I'll give it a C.
Yeah, Jacob, I know this movie front to back because I had it on VHS, basically when I was a kid. So like, it's one of those things where like I could pick it in like a trivia thing, like in Henry's League, you know what I mean? And if like, we can pick like individual movies sometimes to like get trivia on, like, and I would know every line of dialogue of this movie. So I've seen it that many times. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it is a bad movie, but I've grown to appreciate it as that just wacky bad movie, where you can have fun with it, laugh at it, do drinking games to it, every time there's an ice pun, whatever, every time Poison Ivy's being melodramatic, things like that. So, but it's still not a good movie, so I can't go that high. But I can have fun with it. So I'll go C tier. I'm kind of with JPO. I'll go like a C tier.
That's fair.
Like I can totally get enjoyment out of it. It's not like a shitty superhero movie, that just blows, like to where like it's like unwatchable. Like that's like F tier kind of shit. But like it's not great either. You know what I mean? So I'll go C tier. Batman and Robin. But I'm fine with that. All right. Cool. All right, JPO. Back to you.
Let's go to the G unit category here. We'll go to a good old Marvel film here. Upset of our boy Batista. Let's get Guardians in the S here. I only had one of them on the list here. Kind of wanted to have more shitty movies on here. So, but our boy as Drax here, I think it's a lot of fun here. He gets to kind of be a little more as a straight man to a degree. He gets lined up later on in the sequels here. But great introduction to a team, at least as far as I was concerned. Didn't know much about. But Marvel was on a roll, and they continue that roll here with James Gunn's Guardians. And hopefully Barber's back because I got to pee, so talk slowly.
No, it's all right. No, I'll go next anyways. I'll definitely go with the S tier for Guardians of the Galaxy. Just did a watch along on this on another channel for the anniversary. Case Cornelius is from Take 3. We did a little anniversary watch along. Jeremy Potters was on there. We've done a Wheel of Movies episode recently about it. The movie still works. So I've actually watched it twice in like the last like 3 months, like not even really intentionally, just kind of because the anniversary and whatnot. But yeah, still a lot of fun. Me and you, Jacob, we did that. We ranked our Marvel movies, on podcasts about movies, and like, I think we both had this kind of like hovering around the top 5, sort of area. It's still one of the more fun ones. And Batista in particular, this was his kind of big breakout, I think, in acting. I know he'd done like Man with the Iron Fists and a couple of little things, but this was definitely the other breakout. And I think they played to his strengths here by doing the whole like just taking everything so literally and seriously, you know, like it played into it where he didn't have to, like, he could be humorous without being like jokey, you know, slapsticky, and still really kind of steal the movie. And he's great. So yeah, this is a pretty easy S tier for Guardians.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely in agreement here. I remember watching the trailer and I'm like, who are these people? Because I'm not a comic book guy, but I am a comic book movie
You're
guy.
like Draymond Hunter movie. You're like, who?
Why is Drax?
Why is Drax?
Yeah, no, I think since we're on the topic of wrestlers and movies, I think Batista is, and this isn't an unpopular opinion by any means. I'm sure
No,
you
yeah,
two
I agree.
might share this.
I agree.
Yeah, I think he's the best wrestler turned actor that we've seen between this and some of his other roles that maybe we'll get to.
If John Cena would do more dramatic stuff, I would like to see him stretch a little bit more. I feel like he's been heavy on the comedy the last like five years or so. If he would stretch out and do a little more drama and show me a little bit more of his range, I could like put him back in the conversation. But I haven't seen enough drama from him. That's all.
For sure, because I remember watching, not to go off on a tangent here, but I remember watching that movie Legendary. And while it's not a good movie,
he's good in it though.
He's good in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, the more dramatic roles, I think there could be a conversation. But right now, Batista is blowing it out of the water. And yeah, I think Guardians. I had a lot of fun with this. I like to tell this story. The time I went to go watch it, the screen was black for that entire first scene where Peter's in the hospital with his mom, and they stop the movie and they go to fix it, and one of the guys I was with yells out, "Spoiler alert! His mom dies." But yeah, no, I have a lot of fun with these characters. I think they kicked off their story in the MCU extremely well with this movie. James Gunn knocked it out of the park. S tier.
All right, well, there we go. All right. So JPO nominated Guardians of the Galaxy. Let me go down and see. Do I want to do a fun one or another kind of shoe? And I think I'll go with another good one. We'll go back and I'll get back to the fun ones in a minute. Let's go to, I think, what even won, I believe, a tournament fight of kind of wrestlers in movies and won a tournament because I think the performance is so good and the movie's so good. Let's go They Live with old Rowdy Roddy. Rowdy Piper, They Live. Great sci-fi action movie here. And I legitimately think Roddy Piper's really good in the main role here. He really does actually carry the movie kind of out of nowhere. This is like his first big kind of breakout into movies. But John Carpenter, again, knows how to use him, kind of plays this sort of homeless everyman. Develops a little buddy relationship with Keith David. They have, to this day, one of the great movie street fights of all time, just in the alley, that every time you think it's going to end, it just keeps going and going and going, but in the best way possible, not to where it gets old. It's just awesome. The iconic line, of course, the iconic bubblegum line, which has become, a big action staple. I think JPO's a couple people used it, even, Ace intros and whatnot, because it's a great line to use. It's good stuff here. And yeah, just again, one of the best John Carpenter movies. So yeah, I think it's a shoe in, but we'll see. Jacob, agree with my S tier for They Live?
If we were doing a tier ranker of the best movie fights, the fight scene in this movie would be in my top 3. I absolutely love that. You put around that just an absolutely fantastic movie, and you have an S tier movie. I think Roddy Piper is really good in this movie. Yeah, his budding relationship, like you said, with Keith David, I think is really good. Iconic lines. It's one that I want to revisit. It's been a while since I've seen it. And one that I came to very late, but it was one of those movies where I watched it and then like a week later I was like, you know what? I want to watch They Live again because it was that good on that first watch. So I absolutely agree with S tier, and not just because of some of the other movies that are on the list. If this was a list of just good movies, I'm still putting it in the S tier. I think it's that good.
Right. JPO, everything about Rowdy, They Live.
Now another big hell yeah for me. I used to own Kick-Ass Shoe bubblegum. I never had it, never tasted it because I wanted to keep it pristine and mint. I might still have it somewhere in Arizona, actually. Yeah, big love for this here. Big love for Roddy Piper as a person. They, like you said, kind of play to his strengths here. You know, a lot of direct DVD stuff later on, but I think he's kind of perfect in this. They play to his strengths. Really good, interesting plot too. Well made, well done. You mentioned the fight, about 6 minute fight, and again, think about that. Just 6 solid minutes of these two having just a scrap, a fight in an alley. It's good. It's brutal. Looks good, and yeah, this is a fun one. So it's an S.
That fight scene, it felt like, well, just do what you want, and then we'll edit it down, and then they're like, no, we're keeping the whole thing. We're not editing this down at all.
Yeah, why not? All right, Jacob, what you got next? Let me scroll back down here.
Yeah, a lot of S tiers. I'm also just like I said, I scanned a little.
Some of these, we put them on the list. I was like, what wrestler is in that one again? Like 300? I don't remember wrestlers.
Kurgan.
Is Kurgan the big executioner guy? Is that who he's playing?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Incarnate. What was that one?
Mark Henry.
Is he? I don't remember that at all.
Yep.
I have zero memory of
Not
that.
a big part.
Okay. But then again, I saw the movie once and I think I fell asleep about halfway through it. So it's fair to me.
Tracks.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Let's go with okay. I'll do an obvious one. I think one that we can all agree on. Hopefully, the wrestler. I don't think you can talk about wrestling in movies without bringing the wrestler up. Mickey Rourke gives a fantastic performance. There are a handful of wrestlers in this movie. I cannot remember them all off the top of my head. I'm sure JPO or Pez can. They're better at remembering things than I am. I love how they handle wrestling in this movie. I think other movies, when wrestling is a main plot line, it's not handled the best. I love that we get backstage scenes in this, and people like going over matches and, hey, we're gonna do this, oh, you guys are doing this, well then we'll do this instead. I love that part of the movie. I love Mickey Rourke's performance, and I love the ending. Like, what happened after he came off the top rope? It's just kind of like, hey, you decide, and I love that. I think it doesn't always work, but I think in this case it absolutely works. So I think The Wrestler is absolutely an S tier movie.
JPO.
100% S tier as well here. I mentioned Fighting with My Family because I like the fact that that's a movie to show anyone here. But this is a really well-worthy movie as well here. Oscar nominated for the performance by Rourke. Really helped bring him back into the limelight. Then he fucked up and lost it again. But that's besides the point. This one's really good. It handles, again, wrestling with respect here. This is a really just good, interesting story of a guy who's not a good father, probably not a great boyfriend either at times. But, he's good at one thing, pro wrestling, and doesn't want to give it up, even when it could literally kill him. He even says that to Marissa Tomei in a really good speech here towards the end. Some great stuff between him and Evan Rachel Wood, his daughter, trying to reconnect with her. And the reason he fucks it up is because of goddamn R-Truth getting him drunk and high the night before. Good job, R-Truth and Heartthrob Antonio. Remember the Heartthrobs? So they get him all high and drunk, and he ends up sleeping with somebody, so he screws up that again. Aunt May as a stripper, that's cool. And yeah, that's a great moment. Oh, and then also too, shout out to Necro Butcher, who is going over their death match while he's got glasses on. Hey, ooh,
that was for the Necro. That was for the Necro Butcher.
Necro Butcher, you say?
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, Esther, and also shout out to Aronofsky. I think is a really good director as well.
Yeah, no, I'll make it a clean sweep. Yeah, again, any of these movies where wrestling's a central plot line, but it's handled really, really well. And yeah, they treat wrestling kind of how it actually is. People talking in the back. Even the scene with the Necro Butcher, he's like, "You sure you want to do this like staple gun gimmick? Like, I can get pretty crazy." And he's just like, "All right, yeah, let's do it." And then you see it in practice, them doing things like that. The wrestling convention, kind of stuff. Him having the old Nintendo game that looks like an old, Nintendo game, from the 8-bit era. camera. Looks great. But yeah, Randy the Ram. Yeah, it's a great little story. Great performance. So yeah, I feel like we have to kind of throw that in the S tier for sure. All right, JPO.
All right, so we've got a couple of wrestlers on the board here. Let's get our boy Dwayne in a starring role on the board now. Let's go to the one of his first major ones, Rundown. I looked to nominate here for an S tier. I think it still holds up as one of his best here. It's a perfect example to me. Action comedy as well, because you got Sean William Scott, who I think is kind of at his peak right now. You know, little thunder, little lightning. That's the guy he's going after here. Christopher Walken is. Perfect Christopher Walken here. Distract me with some Rosario Dawson. Well shot by I want to say it's Peter Berger film, right? I don't know. But well shot. Good Ernie Reyes Jr., one of the choreographers, and also in a fight scene as well. That's a good one. Funny. It kind of hits the head on everything here. And this was truly at the time like a passing of the torch, literally, as Arnold Schwarzenegger tells him, have fun or whatever in the club. So I've always liked this one here. Welcome to the Jungle, aka The Rundown, aka an S tier movie for me anyway.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think again, especially on this list, and with Dwayne Johnson's filmography, I feel like if we did a countdown, on JPO's channel, Dwayne Johnson, this one would be like kind of a top fiver, probably here. Yeah,
you guys want to do a top 10 Dwayne Johnson movies? Is that what I heard?
I just said if it happens. So
I'm just saying. I want to do it now.
No, not right now. But yeah, no, I think the Rundown. Yeah,
I didn't mean now. I just meant now. I want to do it at some point.
Oh yeah. I think we mentioned that. Maybe we'll get to it soon. We'll see. Does he have when's his next movie come out? Is that Santa Claus movie? The next one? I don't know.
Yeah, either that or Moana 2.
Moana 2, maybe. Yeah.
Moana 2 comes out in November.
Yeah.
But that Santa Claus movie might also come out in November.
Yeah, the Santa Claus movie I feel like is also in November, the red one or whatever. It's still one of his earliest and best. Yeah, because I think it was before he kind of got the big ego and was kind of making the same movie, over and over again for a little while. That period in the 2010s, still doing some creative stuff again, working with a good director. Yeah, I looked it up. It is a Peter Berg joint. I forget about that. Before he started just doing his run with Wahlberg, I think in the later 2000s, just working with him 5-6 times in a row.
Red One comes out first. Red One literally a week later is Moana 2. So
wow. So he's gonna big. So I guess I would say wait around that time because you'll get a double dose of rock. You can do it like the week in between or something like that, and you get a double dose of rock. But yeah, I'll give it an S tier because I think it still holds up. Jacob.
So I still haven't seen The Rundown.
It's too bad.
I started to watch it. I was really liking what I watched, and then I had to go do something. I was like, I'll finish it later, and then it was not available on Prime for free anymore.
Oh, that's too bad.
They're like, finish watching, but you have to pay for it. I was, no, screw you guys.
I don't want to pay for it now. I didn't finish it.
I will pay half price. I to watch the last half, but yeah, no. What I saw was pretty good, so I was really enjoying it. I'm bummed that it's not free, and I'm cheap. So
it is on Peacock now.
Is it on Peacock now? Okay, cool.
It's on Peacock now, so you can finish it at some point. So
I will do that.
I've got pop it on what we're doing the episode in the next 30 minutes, and then you can comment on
I got fast forward to the part where I was.
That's right. Fast forward to about halfway or whatever. All right, so we back to me. Yeah, let's see. Should I do another goofy, fun one? Maybe I'll find another fun one here that I have seen. I've seen Abraxas. That movie sucks. But I don't think anybody else has.
Nope.
I watched it for a Riff Tracks thing. Let's see here. Let's go with a fun one where, again, not the greatest movie, but does it hold a special place in my heart? And I watch it every Christmas. Yeah, let's go Jingle All the Way. Speaking of Arnold, making a cameo, let's do an Arnold full on here. I'll go B tier for Jingle All the Way because I can't quite put it at like an S tier. It's not that kind of movie, but it's still, I think it's better than people kind of give it credit for sometimes. It is kind of a fun, take on consumerism. It's a good slapstick comedy. I genuinely think Arnold's pretty fun. Phil Hartman stealing the show here as the the neighbor. He's pretty damn great. And hey, he does go one-on-one with the Big Show, with old Paul White under like a little Santa Claus outfit and a beard. So a fun little sort of David versus Goliath match in there. But a good little supporting cast. That's funny. I've always liked the movie, but I fully acknowledge it's not like on the same level as like a They Live or a Predator. You know what I mean, like that. But I'll put it in a B tier. What do you say, Jacob?
I think it's perfect for Jingle All the Way. I think it's a fun Christmas movie. Yeah, I think it's just an easy watch around the holiday season. I think Arnold's a lot of fun here. Sinbad. I think if we wanted to do a tier ranker of movie quotes, put the cookie down.
Put that cookie down. No.
It doesn't matter how many times I hear it, I crack up the same way every single time.
I love the quote right before that though. Phil Hartman, he's like, "Where's my wife?" And Phil Hartman goes, "Oh, Howard, I think she's in the shower. Want me to go check?"
I love his character is so fun. I think the B tier is a good place for Jingle All the Way.
All right, JPO, what do you say? Are you in the Christmas spirit for Jingle All the Way?
Yeah, no doubt. No, I was afraid when you were mentioning it. I was like, S tier, but no, B is kind
no.
of
I'm not gonna put on the same level as Predator and Wood. Like, no. It's not there.
6-year-old me would have been like, screw you guys. But like I've grown up a little bit since then. But I think there's still charm to it as well. It's a funny just romper of these two going at it. So yeah, I'll definitely say B. B is a lot of fun.
That seems like a perfect spot. Hey, it seems like a perfect place for the rest of the show. Like, is it better or worse than Jingle All the Way? Like, like we had a sitcom one time for the '90s. And Coach was like right in the middle. It's like, is it better or worse than Coach, the sitcom? The Corbin Burton. Like that seemed to be a nice bar of like better or worse than Coach. I don't know. So maybe the rest like better or worse than Jingle All the Way. I don't know. So, but Jacob, what do you got?
All right, let's see. Yeah, that S tier is pretty full so far. And since this isn't a real tier rank, a normal tier ranker, I want to try to get something.
That reminds me of the one I'll do next time. I may jot that down. Okay, we'll get to that. Go ahead.
I want to try to get something in that A tier, and maybe I'm lower on this actually. I think The Waterboy could be in that A tier. I think it's one of Adam Sandler's better movies. Captain Insano is such a fun, memorable character. So
and
memorable
in
that
95 main eventer, Lawrence Saylor too.
Yeah. It's such a memorable character, Captain Insano, that Paul White would bring the character back years later in AEW, Captain Insano. But no, I think Adam Sandler's a lot of fun here. Just the way he talks. Mama said alligators are angry because they got all them teeth and no toothbrush. Well, Mama's real. Like I can quote this one. I like this one. I know that I can kind of shit on some Adam Sandler comedies. I'm glad there was no wrestler in Billy Madison. Thank you.
The Blob. Hold on, put it on the list. The Rolton
Blob. Shoot.
Which,
but no.
by the way, is part of this month's Pro Wrestling Crate. There's going to be some sort of merch that's dedicated to that character. So I can't wait if it's a micro
will it be an actual magazine of the 1983 edition of Wrestling World magazine?
I feel that's too expensive, but maybe.
Maybe. And also now that we've set that bar of is it better or worse than Jingle All the Way, I think the Waterboy is just a little bit.
It could be a T-shirt of that cover in the movie of the Wrestling World magazine and like a T-shirt of that.
It could also be a fun, not even of the cover too. It could be just a fun like character drawing.
Yeah.
I feel like they've actually done that. I feel like I might have owned that shirt actually.
Okay.
But again, like you were saying, Pez, like, is it better or worse than Jingle All the Way? I do think The Waterboy is just a little bit better than Jingle All the Way, but I don't think it's quite as good as any of those movies in the S tier. So I think A is just a perfect placement for The Waterboy.
JPO Shabadoo, we got a Sandler movie on the table. What you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna not lower my Shabadoo man too much here. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I should actually go for an S, to be honest with you, because I do love the Water Boy. It's usually low, like if including an S, if I'm just thinking A through F, low A tier, high B tier. So no, I'll agree with an A then here. I do think it's kind of in his realm, probably like his fifth, sixth best, maybe even slightly lower. But I do like it a lot. That's still saying something. So Waterboy is great. That scene with Kevin Insano is great, and so yeah, I would agree with an A.
Yeah. No, I think A is kind of perfect for it because it's definitely like I don't hold it as high in the Sandler thing as like a Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison. It's close. But JPO's popping something up. So is that a revolting blob shirt?
I used to own that shirt. Yeah, so that's a real shirt. So I don't know if that or what,
right.
but yeah.
Okay, all right. But even I think what'll keep it slightly out of the S tier for me in this one is the fact that the Captain Insanio thing is basically just a cameo. Like we never really that's just the one spot. We never really see him again. So he doesn't even have like that much of a role in it, but it is fun. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I like the concept of the character and whatnot. He does reference it later, but that may be the one thing that kind of just keeps it slightly out of the S tier for me is I feel like, these other movies you got up here, like either the wrestling or the wrestler have more of like a central kind of, or a little more central to kind of what the goings on and whatnot. So, but because of that, I'll say Waterboy. Yeah, that's a good one for A tier right there.
Sounds I was just thinking too, like it would have been so cool if that scene in Liar Liar didn't get deleted, because then Liar Liar could be on this list, and I would argue Liar Liar for S tier. I love.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Like we talked about this with that Liar Liar sequence, it wouldn't make sense to the plot because the whole plot is that they don't go to the wrestling show. And that's why the kid's like disappointed that day, you know what I mean? Because he cancels and he doesn't go. So like if they go and maybe they filmed it early, like because of scheduling, they just did it, but then maybe realized that that doesn't make a lot of sense.
So the scene would have played out with him trying to like do his work while he's there, and it pisses off Big Show or the Giant at the time who's trying to fight Sting, and so like the kid kind of gets embarrassed because I don't know if they bring him in the ring or if he just shit talks him or what, but like that's kind of how the scene would have played out. But like it does make more sense if just they simply never made it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he promised. He's been hyping it up all day. Yeah. We're gonna go see wrestling. Dad, take me to see wrestling. And then like we're not going, are we? Like that's the gut punch of like we're not going, are we?
That's a better gut punch than we got there, and also they probably. I think.
But he's distracted. Yeah, it's like no, he was up all night working, and they didn't go at all. Like that's a better
That's a better gut punch. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's probably why they went with that. And maybe the other scene just wasn't as funny, and they're like, it makes the film too long. Who knows?
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, Jacob, you got that in the A tier. JPO. There are some other Sandler movies if you want to nominate some other Sandlers on the tier chart. You can go for another.
I know that a lot of
Sandy Wexler.
Yeah. What's the Sandy Wexler one? I never saw that one. Rikishi. Okay. Because some of these, I was doing them and I was like, I especially the ones I haven't seen. I'm like, I don't know what wrestlers.
Rikishi fights Terry Crews is a pro wrestler, and Sandler's is member. And but no, let's go up to I'll go back up to the D's. Let's go again talk a little bit about my boy Batista now in a serious role, Dune. I love that Dune.
Dune 1, 2, both.
One, I don't know. Yeah, let's go Dune 1, I guess.
Okay, Dune 1. I think he kind of has a bigger role in Dune 1, I think. Because Dune 2, Austin Butler kind of takes over his role, kind of. So,
kind of the lackey, yeah.
Yeah, because he takes over kind of the part that Batista kind of was doing in the first one because he kind of fails, and then Austin Butler kind of takes over that spot, kind of in that family. So, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even I don't think has had a bad movie yet. I think he also has a really good grand scope to make it epic like this here. I went in kind of lukewarm. I'm not a fan of the original here. It's just kind of too weird without much in the good quality, not enough rather. But I loved what Denis Villeneuve did here. I think it looks great. I'm very intrigued by all the characters here. Oscar Isaac, Javier Bardem, Josh Brolin. Everyone I think just has enough to do. He's juggling a lot, but I think he does it in a really spectacular way. And this ended up being one of my favorite films of the year. And same can be said for part 2.
Yeah, no, I like both these Doom movies a lot. I'm actually excited to go back at some point, maybe in a year, and watch them both like back to back, and just like as one big movie, one afternoon, just kind of just let it flow, as one big story. Because yeah, I even liked part one. I didn't know if I was gonna love like all the setup stuff, but I really liked what they set up here. It really did help make part two like really pop, for that finale. And yeah, even this is a setup movie. Yeah, Batista has more to do in this one. He's more kind of hands on. So when he's really good. Again, we see that range from Batista. He's working with all these hot directors and doing some really good work. So yeah, I'll put it in the S tier. I will say again, I haven't lived with it as long as these other ones, so it would probably be like a lower S tier. But yeah, I'll still go S.
Yeah, I'll agree. And yeah, when I went to go see part two, I ended up watching part one right before I left. So I
did watch it that week. I had waited. Yeah. I missed it the first one in the theaters, but I waited like that week to watch part one, and then went and saw part two like 2 days later, and it worked a lot. Like that helped.
Yeah, yeah. I remember I watched it and I was like, okay. Then I went and watched part two, and it was like I was thinking of like the whole story that we had gotten so far, and it really like it upped part one for me because I thought like part one was like a technical achievement, like all the technical stuff, the sound, all that. Fantastic, but being able to watch it like as a whole story, I think it really helps elevate part one. Which now I get the criticisms like, oh, part one it's fine, but it's like it's not a whole story, and I was like, yeah, no, I get that. That's why there's a part two coming out. So maybe just be patient, But yeah, I think Batista's really good in it. I think everyone in the movie is really good. So yeah, I'll agree with an S tier for Dune. I think it's and I agree also, JP. I don't think Denis Villeneuve has made a bad movie yet. So
Arrival.
Good movie. Overrated, yes. Good movie, still yes.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not as high on it as some other people either, but I do think I think it's a good movie. Not a great movie, but a good movie.
All right, JP, Dune. And speaking of Dune and D's looking awful lonely. I might have a good one for it because it's a bad movie. Has a couple of chuckles. I have a little bit of nostalgia for it because I saw it a lot when just on cable back in the day. Let's get Hogan up there. Let's go a little Mr. Nanny. I'm going to throw it in the D tier. and I'll throw it in the D tier because it is technically a little bit better than Russell Madness. Hogan's trying here, to do the slapstick. It's very much got like a Home Alone thing going on, a couple years after Home Alone because they're setting up like little goofy Rube Goldberg traps for him, to like hurt him, around the house. It's definitely got that vibe, with these like troublemaking kids, but it does have a few laughs here and there. Sherman Hemsley is okay as sort of his manager. It has a very vague, like weird wrestling backstory where he used to be a wrestler, very strange, in like a fishing outfit. Yeah. It's very weird, like in a fishing outfit. He's fighting like Lou Albano or somebody in the beginning. Like there's a couple of wrestler cameos in the very, very beginning.
It's like Kamala, it's Zodiac, not
the Bushwhackers. I think the Bushwhackers are in there. I think maybe.
I don't know. It'd be like maybe Alpha or Sika. It's a weird amount. It's a weird group of people.
Yeah, they're like blink and you miss it. Like they're very like flash, like quick things. But yeah, like it's not a great movie like at all. But it is kind of like watchable in that like kind of a train wrecky kind of way. So that's why I'd watch it over Russell Madness. But I have like more fun with Batman and Robin. That's like my logic for like a D tier. So we'll go with that. I'll say D tier for. I feel like there should be a Hogan movie on here somewhere because he did have his run. This might be the best Hulk Hogan movie. I don't know. Like you can make an argument. There's something like that. I remember JPO, we didn't get to it, but I wrote questions for that Battleground y'all were going to do about like wrestlers in movies, like Battleground exhibition. I think you were going to participate, and a couple other people. I had a question about like, what's the worst Hulk Hogan movie? Because I feel like there's no obvious answer, and you could have multiple answers that are all like arguable. You know what I mean? Between Suburban Commando, between No Holds Barred, between Santa with Muscles, this, you know what I mean? Like that Three Ninjas movie, like there's no correct answer. So I felt like that's why I went with that. Had we got to that, but yeah. All right, Jacob, have you seen Mr. Nanny? I know it's maybe not high up on your list. I don't know.
I have seen Mr. Nanny. I will agree with the D tier though, because while I haven't seen Russell Madness, I think I would rather rewatch Mr. Nanny than watch Russell Madness for the first time.
Yeah.
So I think D tier is I do remember I think I chuckled like twice. So,
There's a couple of moments I chuckle. Sherman Hemsley does have a couple of decent lines. He's like showing the kid potential weapons he could use against the bullies, and it's pretty funny. He pulls like a lead pipe out of his pants
Yeah.
and a blackjack, like Stevie Ray used to use, brass knuckles. He's just like, like showing the kids all these things. Like, it's kind of funny. Yeah, again, Hogan's like a couple of his slapstick bits will make you chuckle, you know what I mean? But like that's about it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think D tier is good. It's nice to get one in like every tier here.
Yeah, we're spreading it out a little bit. JPO, what do you think? You seen the Mr. Nannies?
Hell yeah. I saw this so much growing up, man. Suburban Commando and this, was on repeat in my house. Yeah, I'm looking up the scene right now. So it's Zodiac, Jim Neidhart, Kamala, George Steele's second movie on the list so far, and R.I.P. Alpha are all attacking.
Oh, wow.
Okay, dream sequence.
Yeah, it's like that weird, like black and white dream sequence or something. It's weird.
Where he's in his fishing gear. Yeah. Or the fishing, he's got like, the generic stuff on.
He's got like a fishing vest, like one of those tackle vests on. It's weird. Yeah, it's very weird. I don't know what his gimmick is.
Well, no. That's just because he falls asleep while fishing. That's not his gimmick. I don't think it's alluding that that's his wrestling gimmick. That's just him having a nightmare while he's fishing.
Do they ever say what his wrestling gimmick was? Because we never see it.
No, you see him in the backstage, and he gets hired by the one guy who has like an afro, who's like bald later on. But when you see him backstage, it's post match. He's in like a blue sweater. You know what I'm saying? So you never see him in whatever his gimmick was. You never see that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go higher though. I think it's a C. I don't know, man. I think this is just as watchable as Batman and Robin. I think the kids have fun. I like the wallet thing they do. I always want that wallet to fuck with people.
Right.
I like even the relationship with the father. I think it's kind of well intended. Austin Pendleton. The villain's really weird. I like it. So that's a C.
The villain is the same guy who's like the cab driver in Scrooge. He's been in like a bunch of movies, or he was.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah, if you recognize him, he's like that kind of strange looking character actor. I forget the guy's name, but I could look him up. But I know he's the cab driver running around in Scrooge. Yeah, that's kind of his
David Johansen.
Yeah, David Johansen. Yeah, so he's wild and wacky as the villain with the plate on his head. All right, but 2 D's and a C, so we'll stay in D. All right, Jacob, what you got? We got we'll go about 10 more minutes. We could probably go around at least 2 more times. So think about your last maybe 2 picks. I don't know if you guys want to try to do like a wild card round. If you want to throw any quick ones out there, we'll see what you guys want to do, but we'll play it by ear here. Jacob, what you got?
Yeah, there's really only a few more that I think I want to talk about, so we'll go ahead and scroll on down to the bottom there, and we'll get Warrior up there in that S tier. Right. While Kurt Angle doesn't have a huge role in the movie, I do think he works as it's funny, an American Olympic gold medalist playing a silent Russian, but somehow it works. It's an MMA fighter, and it works. He's pretty intimidating, but I love this movie. It's probably my favorite sports movie if I'm ranking sports movies. I think the performances from Tom Hardy, Joel Edgerton, what's his name, Nick Nolte, very, very good. The relationship that we learn about between the two brothers here is tremendous. I think the script for this movie is fantastic. It's some of the dialogue between Joel Edgerton and Nick Nolte can be heartbreaking. I think this movie is so good. And while it's a sports movie, I think the sport is kind of put on the back burner, and it's really a movie about family, and I think that's where it shines the most. 3 top-notch performances here. Gets better every time I watch it. Warrior, I think, deserves to be in that S tier.
JPO?
Yeah, I got no disagreement here. I love this movie here. Angle's not exactly stretching here. He's silent for the most part of it, but damn, is the movie at the center so good here. you're not necessarily rooting for one over the other here. They're both baby faces, if you will. So it's really intriguing up to the very end between Edge and Hardy are killing it. Kind of like Ricky Rourke, I feel like this kind of reminded people of like how good McNulty can be as well. So yeah, this is a big S tier. I knew you liked this as well. So this was another one where I was like, someone's gonna bring this up. Right?
Yeah, we're just waiting for that one. Yeah, that is just one of the better. Yeah, it stands out as one of the better movies on the list. Just when you're looking at the kind of the overall list, you're like, well, Warrior will be in there. And I won't disagree here. Yeah, it's really good. Been a while since I watched it. I knew you had a rewatch. It's probably been 5 or 6 years since I watched it. I'm due for one, but yeah, it is very good. And yeah, Kurt Angle, playing up this like almost like a boss level kind of thing of this Cobra guy. They do hype him up in the movie, so it's pretty good. Like before he actually gets there with like the posters and like there's like a hype video, something like that. Hyping him up. So that is pretty cool to see. And yeah, just great performance all around. You could have made an argument that Nick Nolte should have won the supporting actor Oscar that year. I think it's one of those things. I think me and you, Jacob, maybe even talked about that. Winning the supporting actor that year. So yeah, no, I won't disagree with that. All right, JPO, what else you got?
Oh shit. Let's see here. What can we get on this list? Oh, still a lot of good stuff here. I've been a little heavy on him. All right. No one else has done it yet, so let's get Andre the Giant. Let's get Princess Bride on this list here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that was one of the other ones I wanted to talk about. So first,
yeah, I was like, I figured someone might get to it. Our boy Rob Reiner made just a great, fantastical movie that still has so many people's hearts a swoon here. Carrie Alloway's everyone Wallace Shawn can do cons till the end of their times because people just love to meet this entire cast here. What happened to Elways? I feel like he stopped being charismatic after this movie, or is it just me?
No, he did. He's really charismatic in Robin Hood Men in Tights a couple years later. Like,
okay,
he's really good in that
what
movie.
happened after Robin Hood Men in Tights? I feel like he stopped
Twister,
being charismatic.
Liar, the aforementioned Liar, Liar.
But no, Liar, Liar is a great movie, but he's like the fucking boring boyfriend that you want to be dumped. That's what I'm saying.
I feel like I've seen him a lot. Movies. I feel like I've seen him a lot lately, though, like popping up in movies. It's really weird. Like,
yeah, but even like then, I just feel like he's so like loving and charming in this and Robin Hood, and I feel like later on he became more of the straight man. Is what I'm kind of getting at. Okay. Not necessarily always picking bad movies. Like again, I love Liar Liar, but he's so boring and bland. You're like, please leave him for Jim Carrey, please.
He had a good. Wrong. I will say he had a very busy 2023. Just throwing this out there real quick. He had Blackberry, Mission Impossible, Sweetwater, Rebel Moon, and and even this year, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Like he's working, dude. Like he is.
I guess Guy Ritchie likes him. Oh yeah, no, he's not busy for sure. No, he's been one of those guys that's steadily been around for a long time. But anyway, back to Princess Bride here. The outset of it here with Peter Falk and. Fred Savage. It's a fun little setup here. Everyone kills it. Billy Crystal. This is just such a fun, sweet, quotable movie. And Andre is so heartwarming as well here. Kind of makes you wish he was more of a character actor, in other movies. So I'll say yes.
Yeah, you guys know I'm not as high on the movie overall, as kind of everybody else is. And it might come to the fact that I didn't grow up with this movie. Like, I didn't grow up watching it like a lot of people did, on video or cable or whatnot. I think it's a good movie. Like, I'm not trashing it as a movie. I still think it's a solid movie. I saw it in a theater, I think, for one of the anniversaries. But I do think Andre is really charming in it and really lovable. I do like the individual kind of characters like pop up. I love Wallace Shawn. I've just never been like, I don't have that attachment to this movie like a lot of people do. And it's the thing. So like I own it on Blu-ray. I have like a steelbook. Like it's nice. You know what I mean? I'll whip it every now and then, give it another shot. I always give it a shot every couple of years, to see if it kind of goes up in my rankings. Hasn't really yet. I'll go A tier. Like I'm not gonna trash it. Like it's definitely one of the better movies on this list. I'm not gonna say it's not, you know what I mean? But I'll go A tier, just slightly. Jacob.
I'm in agreement on the S tier. I absolutely love this movie. I do think, as far as wrestler performances, I think Andre's is one of the better and more memorable performances. Surround that with just, I think, a fantastic movie with performances from people that you mentioned, Wallace Shawn, Carrie Ellis, what's his name? Billy Crystal. Great cameo. I think that's really a lot of fun as well. So yeah, I think this movie has a little bit of everything, and I think it does it really well. So I will agree with the S tier.
All right. Sounds good. All right, 2-1. Yeah, I'll do one more Arnie shout out here, one with a couple of wrestlers in it, and even kind of a wrestling vibe to it, as far as like sort of the presentation of the central thing. I'll shout out the Running Man here. I've always been a big fan of the Running Man. I'm gonna go like A tier for the Running Man because I don't have it as high as something like Predator, but I do think it's one of Arnie's more fun movies. Again, it has like kind of a wrestling vibe to it. It feels very much like wrestling. It's these stalkers are presented like wrestlers. They all have like a personality and like a gimmick. They have an entrance, they have their own theme music. They kind of feel like those types of characters. You do have a couple of, Jesse Ventura does pop up as Captain Freedom, Professor Toru Tanaka in there as Sub-Zero. So, I mean, you do get that kind of wrestling vibe to it. And I still think it's just a really good action movie and a lot of fun. Again, I pestered Richie about seeing this for years because I'm like, dude, it kind of feels like a wrestling thing. Like, you're going to love it. And he ended up liking it. So, yeah, not as high as something like Predator, but a fun movie. So I'll shout out the Running Man. Jacob?
I know that you have praised this movie. And I still haven't gotten around to it.
Oh, you're like Richie. You haven't watched it, or Richie finally watched it. Now you got to watch it. Yeah. All right, JPO.
No, I've seen it. This one's been quite a while. I've been waiting for a rewatch here, but no, I think A is kind of perfect here. There's some elements maybe kind of its time, but it's still a really fun movie. We're checking out Barber, so I'll say A.
Yeah, no, I think A's kind of a perfect spot for it.
It's pretty perfect, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Jacob, you want to throw out one more? And then maybe we could do a couple of just rapid fire ones if we want to like do some really rapid fire shout outs. I think we can do that. We don't have to do like we do it on tier ranker as far as like, let me do all this, then we'll go rank. If you just got to throw out some rapid fires and maybe we can be like agree, disagree sort of a thing, we can just shout out a couple more. But Jacob, throw out another one real quick and then we'll hit some rapid fires.
Yeah. So let's see. I think there were a couple more that I had in mind. Let's go with. See, like there's two that I'm just very curious on what you guys think of the movie. So, let's go animated. Let's go with Moana.
Okay.
I love this movie. I think I'm higher on it than most people. I think it's one of the stronger movies in the Disney animated realm. I think the voice performances are really fun. I don't think The Rock is doing anything out of the ordinary. I think he's just being himself. But I think the story around the character of Moana is really good and really strong. I've talked with people that share this background, this cultural background, and they say that it's really good. So shout out to them for treating it with respect and whatnot. I think the songs are fun. I think Jermaine Clement as the crab. I think he steals the show and he absolutely kills it. The one scene and the one song that he has. I hope he's in the sequel. I haven't really looked into anything on it, but yeah, "Shiny" is one of my favorite Disney songs. I think it is so good. I was on Dylan Randazzo's channel for draft day. We were drafting Disney voice performances, and we had to do two kind of modern picks, and Jermaine Clement was one of my picks because, like, even though he's not in the movie, I know we're talking wrestlers in movies, but like, I just wanted to shout his performance out real quick. Yeah, so I think it's S tier for me personally, but again, I know that I'm a little bit higher on it than most people.
JBO?
Not by much for me personally here. I would say A. I really like it here. Again, maybe just because I'm not the biggest musical guy, I'm taking out of it just a little bit here. But I think it looks great here. I think there's some really fun comedic moments here, some good heartfelt moments here. So it does hit on most levels. So it's still an A for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of in line with JPO. I think it's like a strong A.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it in that like elite tier. Even in the animation world, I would have ones from like the 2010s, higher than that. But it is like a solid one. This is one that like if my niece, got really into it and wanted to watch it, it'd be perfectly fine. Perfectly fine with that. And what's funny is that my sister said that Moana 2 might be her first trip to the theater. We'll see.
Oh,
Because she
nice.
actually does. She actually does like the original Moana. She's watched it a couple times. And yeah, so when they get to be like sort of 2.5, 3 years old, you kind of test the water, see if they can handle like a theater trip, at least with something familiar. It seems like Moana 2 might be that first outing. We'll see. See how that goes. Yeah, I'll go A.
All right, cool.
All right. So let's do this. Maybe we'll do some really rapid fire ones. So like JPO, if you like throw one out there, like just like throw one out there with a letter and maybe like a sentence or two, and then we'll each also have like a letter and a sentence. You know what I mean? And we can go around a couple times, just do that. You know what I mean? Just go like rapid if there's a couple other ones you want to throw out there. You get what I'm saying? But it'll be kind of like more real time rapid fire. You know what I mean? So because I know there's a few more on there we probably want to shout out. So go ahead.
Iron Claw. Ignore the flare one. Everything else is perfect.
Yeah, for this list I'll put it in S tier. Yeah, one of the better wrestling related movies. Jacob.
Yeah, ignore the S tier or ignore the flare stuff. S tier.
Yes. No, I think we're all in agreement there. Boom. Let's do another Dwayne Johnson. I feel like franchise Viagra Fast 5 probably his best outing as Hobbs and just one of the best fast movies. Jacob.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. Yeah, S tier. Yeah, best fast movie. Rock kills it. So S tier.
Yeah, JPO.
Yeah, I love Fast 7, but especially if you're looking for a rock-led performance too, easily the best one of the bunch. So S tier.
All right, cool. Jacob, you got a quick rapid fire one? What you got?
Yeah, TMNT 2, I believe, is on the list.
Oh yeah,
Secret of the Ooze. Fun sequel. Not, I would go B tier for Turtles 2.
Yeah, JPO.
Oh, thank God! I was like, oh my fucking ass, are you serious? Oh no, B's perfect.
Are you not?
Yeah, no. Well, I was gonna say in B because I would agree with B also. Because I love the original one. This one's a step down, but I still think it's like entertaining. It's still watchable. I just like these people put it like above that original one. I don't know what you're smoking.
I don't get it.
I don't get that either. All right, JPO, you got another quick rapid fire one. What else?
The Suicide Squad. Peacemaker, baby.
All right, let's see. Where is it? Down here somewhere. There it is.
Yeah.
All right, for a little Cena action. What are you going, S tier?
Hell yeah.
B tier. I like the original one better. I know it's blasphemous.
You're high as a kite. Nobody has ever said that before in history.
I think it went too Marvel. It's too much goofy humor.
At least it was R-rated though, which is not Marvel. Like,
it felt like James Gunn was like making an MCU movie, and that's I like DC movies because they're not MCU movies. That's why I like DC movies. And it was just like, hey, we'll make an MCU movie.
This is better than any DC movie we've had though in like the last 10 years.
I disagree, but all right.
DCU rather, I guess.
Anyways, B. Jacob.
I'm right in the middle. A.
Okay, so it'll be right in the middle. Okay, so there we go. All right, so it'll be an A then because it's right in the middle. All right, let's see. So me, there was something else I saw. What did I see? Can't remember if it was like an S tier or just one I wanted to shout out. Where are we putting Ready to Rumble? We putting that like in the C tier? I don't know.
C.
I'm thinking C. You guys in agreement?
B.
Jacob, what do you say?
Oh, C, because again, I it's not quite as good as Jingle All the Way, but
that's what I'm putting after Jingle All the Way and B.
I think Jingle All the Way.
If we put it after Jingle All the Way in the B tier, I'm.
But I don't hate Ready to Rumble. I think it's better than Mr. Nanny. So like I would put it in the C tier. Yeah. All right, so we'll do that. Jacob,
I'll see. Yeah, I'll stick to C.
Yeah. All right.
Let's see. I think The Other Guys is a good B tier movie. I think The Rock is fun in a small role, but I think this might be one of the better comedic movies that Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell have done. I think it's fun, but yeah, I wouldn't put it above any of the movies in the tiers above it.
So B tier. Okay.
B tier.
JPO, other guys.
A tier.
I go B tier. I feel like it drags a little bit near the end. And I last time I rewatched it like a year ago, and it was funny for a while, and then I felt like it kind of dragged on and on. And I got less interested as it went along. So I'd go B tier.
Michael Keaton is fantastic, though.
No, he's great as the captain, as the angry captain. He's fun. And yeah, that opening stuff is great. JPO, you got another quick one?
Yes, that's Glass Onion.
Oh, Glass Onion. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I love both Knives Out movies. This is a very worthy sequel. I want to see fucking Daniel Craig do this until his 80s.
Where?
S.
Okay, gotcha. I will go A because I Knives Out's like a B for me. I like Glass Onion more, so it's like an A. Jacob.
Oh, it's toeing that line. I'd probably put it like the top of the A tier.
Okay. All right, so A tier for Glass Onion. Yeah, what was the other one I was looking at? No, not any more rocks. Oh, I was gonna say for another Batista, I would say Knock at the Cabin for like a strong A tier because I think Batista's performance alone is one of his best, and he's damn good. And I'm a Shyamalan guy too, so I like this movie a lot.
I'm in agreement. It was a lot better than I expected, and yeah. It's actually, I think, it's one of my favorite Batista performances. So A tier.
Yeah, for sure. All right, JBO.
If we were ranking performances, A, movie B.
Okay, but 2 A's in a B, so I'll put it around there. Jacob.
I don't want to do another Rock movie, but most of them that I've seen that are left that are decent are Rock movies. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. I'll go a very strong A for that one. It was. I know some people were hesitant. It's like, what are we going to do here? But I think it was a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be. And I think, Rock, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, Karen Gillan gave us a worthy sequel / reboot, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm. All right. JPO, Jumanji.
I agree with A.
Yeah, me too. I think strong A because one of the more pleasant surprises that year from a fan of the original. I was skeptical, but it was a fun movie. So, all right, you guys want one more quick rapid fire, and then we'll kind of wrap it up there.
Yeah.
JPO, what you got? One more. What you
got? Money Plane.
Money Plane. All right, tell us about it because I don't know what the hell that is. So.
Oh my god! If you want just the worst, best movie ever, I don't know. Yeah, stop with the F. Okay. This is an F. This is Edge and Kelsey Grammer and Thomas Jane and all the Lawrences. You know who I'm talking about? Joey and Andrew, and there's the third one, Matthew. I think.
Yeah.
All the Lawrences on a plane, and it's a bit goofy, it's a bit boring, it's a bit of everything, but it's mostly just not good.
I'll take your word for it because I have not seen it. I'm sure you watched it because Edge is all over that poster, baby.
Edge is number one. And best part about it, he's trying. He's trying.
Well, I'll take your word for it. Just like Wrestle Madness, I'll take your word for it. That screams Redbox. Like you scroll through their Redbox and boom, is it right there? And I'm sure you saw in the Redbox JPO or on a stream.
You can almost even tell like this cover is probably like they Googled Kelsey Grammer. That might not even be like a real Edge photo. They might have.
That looks photoshopped as shit with his head on that body. That looks 100% awkwardly photoshopped with him holding the gun. That looks really bad, actually. Yeah, no, it looks like that. I hate those posters. Let's go. I mean, I've seen, obviously a good chunk of these, but I have not those Marine movies. I haven't seen that. I love Pacific Rim, but Kurgan's only in it for like a minute. As like the Russian guy or whatever. I think I'm good. Jacob, you got anything else? Well, I mean, I love 300 as well, but like again, there's not a big wrestling aspect to it, so I'm kind of like whatever. Like for this list, I love 300, but it's fine.
Let's go. Just to get
How about C tier for Blade Trinity? Anybody with that? I think it's watchable.
No.
But Triple H is fun.
D.
No, D. I go
D.
C. Okay, Jacob, have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
All right, leave it at C. It's fine.
Okay. I think
I haven't watched the sequels yet.
it's the weakest, but I think Triple H is having fun in that movie, and it's Ryan Reynolds is doing kind of a he's doing a proto Deadpool in that, even with the swords and shit. Like he's trying.
There's brief moments, but then there's so much bad though. The bad so outweighs the good. That's why I was saying D, because the bad is bad.
Gotcha. I think it's better than Mr. Nanny as a movie though. But yeah,
Hogan and the Tutu. Better than anything in fucking Blade Runner.
All right, Jacob.
I don't think we have a Steve Austin movie on yet. Let's go. The Longest Yard. I think it's a good B tier movie.
Also very wrestler filled.
Yeah, very wrestler filled.
I'll agree with B. You get also a little bit of Nash, Goldberg, Khali, Bob Sapp if you want to include him.
Yeah, no, I think B's a good spot for Longest Yard. I think it's entertaining, but not on the level as like Waterboy and my Sandler, so I'm fine with that. Yeah. All right. The
only theater movie my mom went to because she likes Burt Reynolds. I was shocked because she hates Sandler. I was shocked when she's like, "Oh, I'll come along to Longest Yard." I was like, "What the fuck you just?" I didn't say that probably, but I was like, "What'd you just say?"
Yeah, we I don't think we need to do like a traditional tier ranker and like individually rank all these. Like it's like whatever,
no.
We throw them in there. We can run down some of these like sort of ones that did make the S tier and then just call it a night. So
I would be curious, what's your favorite of the S tier though? What would you put as number one though?
It might be the one that's already there for me. Predator is my number because that's in my top like 50 just in movies. So mine would still be what it is right now. But Predator, Ed would be pretty close. Yeah, I think. Yeah, and then maybe They Live or Guardians, something like that. What would you have, Jacob?
I would probably go. So just to give a top 5 real quick, I think I would go Warrior at 1, Ed Wood at 2, The Wrestler at 3. I think I'd go Predator 4, and then Guardians 5.
Yeah, we could put like The Wrestler around there. That might be like maybe Warrior, like somewhere around there. That would be something like that. Yeah. JP, what would be like maybe your top 5 out of those?
The fact, Jacob, did you say Warrior 1?
Yeah.
You might even want to move that up a little higher, Pence, because I got Warrior. I think at mine at 1.
Oh, so, wow. Okay. All right.
I think it's that good. I really do love that movie here. Yeah. Warrior, probably Fighting with My Family. The Wrestler. I love all of these. I almost want to say everything. Princess Bride and Guardians.
Gotcha. Yeah, this is just rough. I'm not like telling these things, but something like that. But yeah, I mean, again, those all got in there. Scroll one more time for anybody.
With time, I think the Iron Claw could move up.
Yeah. I got to give it a couple more
rewatches. A little bit longer.
For sure. But we got stuff like Waterboy, Running Man, Knock at the Cabin, Glass Onion, some good stuff there. A little scene with Suicide Squad, a couple of rock movies. Yeah, I got Jingle All the Way, Ooze, other guys, Longest Yard, kind of bringing, right on that borderline of like, better or worse than kind of, these movies. We got like our enjoyable but not great, Batman and Robins, your Ready to Rumbles, your Blade Trinities, and then you got your like Mr. Nanny barely scraping by, and then just special ones we shout out. And JP, you got any of those like goofy? I know you've seen those Marine sequels. Like, you want to throw some of those in the F tier just for fun, anything like that?
Honestly, hold on, go down to them. They're not F tier, baby. Only what I would say is F tier actually might be the reason I left it off. I would have said 4 was F tier. I don't mind the 5th one because it's got a lot of wrestlers. I like the 6th one because it's got Shawn and Becky, and the 3rd one has some good action. So no,
I might put that first one in the C tier.
First one's like a C tier movie. Yeah, Marine.
Yeah, C maybe B. It's probably honestly a C. Yeah.
Do you have any other like any of these like red box kind of movies you would throw in the F, like, or just anything else you would throw in the F? Just I mean, if you want to throw
that, I don't like that Goldberg one's pretty shitty. It's a 1-note movie.
Santa Slay. That Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies movie is shit. That movie's
that's terrible. F. That is
that movie sucks.
Storytelling too.
I saw it. Like, it's really poorly filmed. It looks like shit.
Badly.
Yeah, that movie's bad.
Oh my god, yeah.
That
No,
movie
that's a
sucks.
net for sure.
Yeah, I would agree with Santa
I would
Slay.
throw it
Like, I
in
like the
there.
concept, but it sucks. I've
Watch
seen
the
it.
opening scene where he kills Chris Kattan and James Caan and Fran Drescher, and that's the best you'll get. Watch
I
it.
have seen it. It's shit. Abraxas is awful. It's a
I
really
agree.
bad,
I don't agree
shitty
because I've never
movie.
seen it, but I agree from what I've heard.
It's
Yeah.
really bad. Yeah, it's just piss poorly made.
I want real quick. I want to shout this
Yeah.
one out. Based on how they handle wrestling. where
Oh,
would you guys
Nacho
put
Libre?
Nacho Libre?
I hate Nacho Libre. I don't like that movie at all. But
It's a
that
B
might come
for
down to
me.
JPO. Okay. Let's put it in D then. JPO bring up the D. I don't like Nacho Libre.
I mean, if you want to go based on how they treat wrestling, WWE main event, put that in the D or the F. Because
I've never seen it.
Otis's finisher, his character, is he farts so big that it propels him into his opponent. Like,
What?
and it's produced by WWE. Fucking have some respect. Just a smidgen, maybe.
I didn't know what this was when it was on this list. I didn't know I never heard of that main
Yeah,
event.
little tiny
Netflix
kid
movie?
or like 10-year-old kid finds a lucha libre mask and starts to wrestle in NXT. It's
So
kind
it's
of
like
based
Mike
on it.
for wrestling.
I guess, yeah. But worse, I would watch like Mike getting day of the week.
Yeah, well, yeah, like Mike for wrestling. That's what it sounds like. Yeah, I didn't watch the My Spy sequel, so I don't know how that is.
See,
What wrestler is in Pitch Perfect? I would.
Lana.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I got to go run down the list. There was a couple where I didn't know who the wrestler was. That's What I Am. I don't know what that is.
Randy
Who's the-
Orton.
Randy Orton. is
Randy
in that
Orton.
one.
Okay, cool. All right.
He's mad that Ed Harris is gay.
Yeah, there was some other one. I was like, who is the rest? Because I asked you about Incarnate because I forgot about the Mark Henry thing. I thought there was one other one where I was just kind of stumped. Dead Man Down. What is that?
Another Wade Barrett one.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then Changeland? What was that?
Randy
Oh,
Orton.
that's Randy. Oh, that's Randy Orton. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
He's done some sneaky
very
ones.
small, right before Macaulay Culkin on the top row.
Gotcha. Okay. I think that was the only ones really. Yeah. There was a couple where I was like putting.
Everyone else is
on
kind of
okay.
on the cover. Yeah, Kurgan, we mentioned,
Yeah, no, so everybody else was kind of listed or on the cover or something, or I just knew off the top of my head like who was in it. But yeah, a couple of those I just didn't know. So,
honorable mention that's not on the list, Trainwreck. I think Trainwreck is.
Yeah, no, true. There's definitely for some reason this list was weird. Basically what I did was I found another letterbox list and just kind of try to seal and edit from that. And it was weird because like they were very heavy on some, and then like you said, how is Trainwreck not on this list? That's definitely it.
Well, the Trainwreck Sisters, he has a pretty big part in. He's funny in that.
Oh yeah, I guess seeing in general got kind of fucked over. Oops.
Yeah,
but,
well,
I didn't put both Vacation Friends on this. That's somehow the person to remember.
Well,
that,
and who is not on there at all is Nathan Jones, and I feel like he's got some significant movies.
Yeah,
like
sure. We skipped Mad Max.
Mad Max, Furiosa. Yeah. Like I like a movie called The Protector, a Tony Jaa movie. He's kind of a big boss in that. There's a movie called Fearless with Jet Li. He's good.
Is it kind of a decent weird Netflix one? Spiderhead with Miles Teller and Chris Hemsworth. He's in that.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a few that like, I mean, not that I would like go out of my way.
And there's also a lot of left off. I feel WWE Studio stuff on here.
Yeah, no.
I actually took off
See No Evil.
Other things. Yeah, See No Evil's on here. Yeah.
All right. Well, there we go. That was fun though, guys. Yeah, and I'll run down a few of those, just kind of shouting out some of those wrestlers in movies. Yeah, no, I mean definitely a few. If JPO was thorough, we could do a list of probably 200. You know what I mean? Of like everything.
No,
and
especially if you were even more lax, like let's not forget The Godfather counts technically. We joked about this. I think we joked about this. I don't remember if it was on or off air, but like I could have gone David Arquette heavy if I wanted to.
Yeah. Well, even
I think anything post WCW run counts.
I feel like he would actually count because he's had a run. Like I wouldn't want to start getting too lax with like Will Sasso or.
Well, that's what I mean. Well, even stuff like Blazing Saddles, Alex Karras, who played Mongo, like was a wrestler at one point. So like stuff like that. Like you got real technical.
Was it Escape from New York with Ox Baker? There's a couple of wrestlers. I think Luvid Borga's in the third Die Hard. Like there's ones like that. So yeah.
There's this little movie.
Highlander. Highlander opens up with the fucking Freebirds. Yeah.
What was that, Jacob?
So there's this little movie called Hunter X.
Hunter X, yeah, with JPO.
Yeah, well, not even JPO. The lead of that Dan Leiden is literally a wrestler. Hunter X is a pro wrestler.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Florida guy. No, you haven't heard of him. No offense to Dan.
Well,
But,
and stuff like if we count Tiny Zeus Lister, I mean he's in the Dark Knight, like in a role. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like he's
Dark Knight and Friday.
Friday. Yeah, I mean,
Powers.
yeah, he's got significant stuff. Yeah, if we threw him in there, yeah, for sure. I think when we did that draft one time, JPO, remember we did like a Henry draft one night, and I was like wrestler and movies. As long as they had like not just like guy number 2 in the background, like as long as they had like some significance to the plot, like you could draft them, something like that.
I think I personally took out Shoot 'Em Up with Clive Owen because like you can see Christian's arm, like he's such a gangster number 14. Like I was like, no, take this out of here, come on.
yeah. No, but I mean, you could include like Escape from New York, because at least Ox Baker, that's like a big fight in the movie. It's like part of the plot, you know what I mean?
On him. He gets murdered specifically.
Right. Yeah. Well, even Tiny Lister in The Dark Knight like has that significant plot thing where he takes he takes the detonator, chucks the detonator. Yeah, it's a plot point, like it's a thing. So yeah. For sure. But yeah, that's one thing we could do on this channel if we wanted to do like a reprise of that and do like a wrestler and movies fantasy draft and draft like 20 movies, with wrestlers in them.
I like
we could definitely do that.
I don't even mind like we talked about Batista and Cabin, like maybe doing like our own like top 5, top 10 performances, like legit
wrestling performances. Yeah, by wrestlers. Yeah. We could do
because then like no offense, Kurt Angle's probably not making it for Warrior. And but Knock the Cabin could be a top 5er. Who knows?
That's what I mean. Yeah. If you just look at the performances, Roddy Piper and They Live, like shit like that. Yeah, for sure.
Hogan and Mr. Nanny again, obviously will make it.
But yeah, we can put that on one of our off weeks if we just the 4 of us when Richie gets back, like do a reprise of that one we did on Henry's channel, just because we could prep for it like a week in advance. You know what I mean? And really put some lists together. And we do like movies. With a wrestler performance in there. Again, maybe not so much like if he pops up on a cameo for 2 seconds, like they need to have some kind of role, or whatever, some kind of at least name role.
The campaign of Will Ferrell, I think you can find the Miz in like the background for like a hot second.
Yeah. They need to at least have like a character name, and something to do with the plot, like at least a little bit, like at least something. Like, even MacGruber, like there's a plot, like they're gonna be like a team and then they get blown up. Like I would count that.
Yeah, they all have lines. It's just the fact that it's all wrestlers in that one scene is kind of funny.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I mean, as long as they have something to do.
Thanks to being gay, Big Show lives. That's what happens.
Well, yeah. Well, let's do it on one of our. We got a busy couple of weeks coming up because we got we'll talk about it, but we got obviously the Wembley show is on Sunday, so we'll be talking about that next week, and then I think we've got Bash in Berlin's coming up right after that, so we'll have a show to talk about there.
We'll be doing predictions for that as well.
Because we have a double Wembley review and Bash in Berlin predictions. Because what is that? That is
that's next Saturday.
It says that's is that August 31st? Yeah, so we'll have a double there, and then a review of Berlin, and then what? All Out will be like a week after that. Or something like that. When's All Out again? Is that like the 7th or the 14th, or is that what? Is it something like that?
It might be the 8th.
Yeah, AEW All Out. Let me fact check that right quick. September 7th. So literally we'll be reviewing Berlin and predicting All Out. So I mean, we got like a string of stuff. The next couple of weeks just between predictions and reviews. But I think once we then jump into September, we'll have some free weeks to do some other stuff.
Yeah. So all right, but it is almost 1 a.m. for you guys. So we'll go ahead. Pez said, let's not try to make a 3-hour show, and it's nearly a 3-hour show.
All right, guys. So Richie reminded us Maple Leaf Wrestling debuting October 19th and 20th. Mauro Ranallo on commentary. That will be found on Twitter.
Oh yeah, Scott Demore, right?
JPO knows what he's watching on Twitter.
If it's on there free, or if it's cheap and the card's good, we'll see.
Yeah. It'd be good to hear Mauro call wrestling again, especially if it's good.
And that does excite me. Yeah. That's a cool grab. Live on Triller TV. So I think I don't know if that insinuates it's on. I don't know. We'll see.
It's on Triller TV Plus or just Triller TV? Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's a separate charge.
I still have the Plus.
if you give me a
So
good
close.
card and it's not like more than 10 to 20, I might do it. When it's
Do you
30,
still have
40,
Plus or
card
do
would-
I?
I don't have it, but I can always do it again. I do it until there's nothing new on and I let it lapse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I still have it, so watch along. What day is that again? Sunday.
19th and 20th. I don't know if they're
It's a
both. I'm
two-
guessing they're both just live.
It's a 2-night, live.
2-night
Okay.
event. Forged in excellence.
If I'm not doing anything on night, we'll see. Maybe the Sunday night one.
We'll see. I mean, we're literally 2 months away, so we'll talk when it happens.
I know. I want to see some matches and see what kind of talent they can scrub up for that for sure. Yeah. All right. Nice. Well, let's wrap it up, Jacob. What do you say?
Yeah, we can wrap it up. This was
Takeshita and Phantasmo. So he's got a couple of good ones off the cusp.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, a long show, but a good show, a fun show. That tier anchor, that was a lot of fun. So, we'll have to talk wrestlers and movies some other time. That'll be a fun.
Yeah, we'll do our own. We'll do our own draft of that. That'll be fun. We'll mix some stuff what we like, movies and wrestling. We'll do a draft maybe.
He must still have an okay relationship with TNA because they got Josh Alexander, Giselle Shaw, Kushida are on the show as well. Kylie Ray and Jinder Mahal also announced.
Yeah.
So, speaking of movies and drafts and things like that, JPO, I understand you do some of that on your personal channels, right?
What? I do from time to time. Find me over at the Pierce Co. We do a new show, me and Brandon, a couple hours before this, where we just talk about the new movies we watched in the last week, but not the new movies, the new old movies that we have never seen yet. That's our gimmick on that one here, as well as top 10s that we do, including in November of Danley, top 10 Dwayne The Rock Johnson movies. Looking forward to it. And other top 10s happening here. I think the next one might be with Papa West. Not, we'll see, whatever. Trivia happening as well. I'm trying to remember when the next trivia is. I don't know, Friday or Saturday. I don't know. We'll see. I gotta look. I should announce that if it's tomorrow. Damn. And then over at Pierce Wrestling, exclusive matches, tag team tournament beginning. It's supposed to begin tonight. That got pushed back again. I'm trying, people. Tag team tournament someday, somehow, some way, and we'll play sooner or later. Pez on match will happen. Probably we'll finish it around 2025, probably. And other channels as well. All our friends all around the globe.
Yeah, Pez, what do you got going on the next week?
Yeah, no, a couple of things that just went down. Me and the aforementioned Jordan Anderson were on the Extra Movie Butter podcast that's hosted by JTE, Moose Haas, and Brother Lomas of Schmodown fame. And they had us on graciously for Alien Romulus, a nice long discussion about that. So you can check that out. That's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. We promoted in the Movie Hero Network group, so you can check that out. That was a lot of fun. As far as on the Movie Hero Network, we got Chad Webb 64 tomorrow night or tonight or whatever you want to call it, because it technically is Friday already. Whatever you want to call it, is 64 coming up. We'll have some more Seen and Heard trivia next week, so that'll be another tournament match, so you can tune in for that. Why We Love Horror. I think me and Henry should have a match dropping tonight or tomorrow, something like that. So we had a tag team match against the Web. So again, lots of web action over there. So that was a good match. Check that out.
Very nice. And you can catch me back here next week discussing All In. I will be up at 9 a.m. watching that 0 hour and whatever matches get added to it. You can also catch me binge watching season 3 of Bel Air on Peacock. That's where I'll be.
All right. Live tweet that shit. There you go.
I really enjoy the series. I love the.
If you had put a gun to my head, I would have thought that series got canceled. But I guess
Season 3 just premiered last Thursday. I've just been trying to find time to binge it all.
I binged the new Steph Curry TV show. I watched that.
I didn't know Steph Curry had a new TV show.
Yeah, Mr. Throwback on Peacock with Adam Polly.
Oh, interesting.
Who was in Main Event, the movie I mentioned earlier. That sucked. There you go. Good night.
JPO knows about all the streaming stuff. I swear to God, with that, he gets no promotion, no nothing. He just scrolls that new release section, just knows about everything. He finds it. So, yeah, he's good at that. All right.
Yeah, we will be back next week. I'm not sure if Richie will be back by next week. He's on holiday.
He said he was gone for
Richie.
2 weeks. Is he gone next week too? He said 2, right? 2 weeks, I think.
Remember.
Damn.
Richie may or may not be back.
I don't remember. He might be back because I think he said.
Again.
I think we pushed back our Wheel of Movies thing maybe the next week. I don't know. That we're supposed to do for Walk Hard. So I don't know if we're doing that next week or the week after. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'll touch base with him and see.
But yeah, we will all be back next week.
No, Jacob, we don't want none of this cocaine.
Turns out your good feelings and bad feelings and good feelings.
I think I might want to try some.
I do want that.
It's a great movie.
That's so good. It's funny that you guys spun that because I rewatched it like 2 weeks ago.
Dude, I literally just watched it 3 weeks ago with my girlfriend. She'd never seen it, so like it's fresh in my mind, and we didn't even know we were doing it yet. So I just watched it also. No, that movie's awesome.
It's
movie rocks.
But yes, again, we will all be back next week, talking All In, predicting Bash in Berlin, talking some more wrestling. So follow JPO and all his other endeavors. Follow Pez and all his other endeavors. Follow Richie. He co-hosts Wheel Movies and also pops up everywhere else that these guys mentioned. So shout out, Richie. I hope you're having a good time on your holiday. We will be back next week. So for JPO, for Pez, I am Jacob. If you watched live, thank you. If you're watching on the replay, also thank you. Let us know some of your favorite wrestler in movies. Again, we'll be back next week. Thank you for watching.